emergency live. So yeah, I'll wait a couple minutes for people to pour in. This is a massive shock to me. Hopefully, I'm doing this at home. Hopefully, this actually works. Let's see. Let me see. Where can I? I'm gonna turn on the breaking news as well. Yeah, I'm just trying to. 1 second. Let me open this up on my laptop as well. Hi. Okay, couple people have joined. Yeah, I obviously this wasn't part of the plan. Hopefully, you guys can hear me. I just saw it on the news literally like 10 minutes ago. I know I just uploaded a video as well, but yeah, okay, that's good. 28 people have joined. I just opened up the chat. Yeah, I'm in my room right now. Uh, this is insane. I'm just looking at the news. Actually, I have a lot to say about this. I thought it's best to go live now, and I'll save the slide for later. I don't know. The events might be sensitive. It could be demonetized. I think we need to discuss this in serious detail. And yeah, thank you to everybody who has joined. So yeah, first of all, obviously, I saw the news of I'm so sorry what happened to Iryna Zaruska. She actually fled Ukraine 3 years ago, and believe it or not, I recorded a video before I knew about Iryna's case. There's actually a case that's very similar, that's much worse than what happened to Iryna. It was actually happened to this guy named, well, I won't say, but it happened in Canada. It was a 22-year-old white male. He was also killed on a bus, but it was by a crazy Chinese guy. So he actually turned insane after he got baptized. After he turned into Christianity, which is the crazy part. So yeah, that video, I'll think about it, but I think, yeah, I'll upload it on Friday. So then I just literally 10 minutes ago, I saw this on the news. I did see on my phone like 2 hours ago. I was just sitting at home editing. So I'm not at work today. I too tired to go to school. So I'm just in my bedroom right now. And it's an absolute shock because I saw this guy, Charli Kirk, even though some points I certainly don't agree, but I think he makes a lot of good points. He's a year younger than me. So it says he's 31. I guess he'll be turning 32 later this year, but he won't have that chance, unfortunately. So he's born in 93. He's very intelligent. I would say very articulate. Very tall, right? About 6'5". And he has a daughter, right? So I don't know if he has multiple kids. He has at least one kid. And I think it was during COVID, mainly during the lockdowns, I saw this guy. Then it was like after, the Daily Wire, Ben Shapiro, Matt Walsh, Michael Knowles, then all of these, crazy woke stuff. And I saw this, he was all over TikTok, all over the shorts algorithm. It was also on the YouTube shorts too. This guy was everywhere. So that's why I saw this guy, even though I wouldn't say I'm a Charli Kirk fan, but I think he's very articulate, very intelligent. He talks a lot of good points. His points about Israel is quite questionable, I agree. But I think I attended, not attended, but like it was one of these events. He was one of the sponsors when I went to JD Vance, yeah, JD Vance and Tucker Carlson's event, Turning Point USA. He was one of the sponsors there. I didn't get to personally see him, so all I see is that how he goes to these college like campuses, these university campuses to debate students, and I understand he has a personal security as well, but it's not like his security team. Obviously, he's not like President Trump's security team, right? So I think it's pretty basic, and so I obviously some of the points he covered I can understand are quite questionable. They're very how do you say it? So especially I think I would say his points on Israel and what's happening in the Middle East can be quite extreme. It can offend a lot of people. So and yeah, he has received many attacks online before. You said before, that's why it has been security. So it happened in Provo, Utah, right? Utah State University. It was just having one of those debates, and they said the suspect is still at large. So they haven't caught the suspect, which I mean this is very, very concerning. And I've said this before. Before I'll get into the comments, I'll go on for a couple more minutes. So I did mention this about the school shootings, right? So first of all, it's very questionable. Like in Minneapolis, what happened? Was a flight in the room. Like what happened with that? The trans shooter. Like Minnesota has one of the most strict gun laws. By the way, you guys can hear me, right? So 87 people joined. I'm hoping I'm not talking to like. Can you guys just send a reaction, like a heart or something, like we're like 100% to make sure the audio is working? I'm not wearing my headphones because people have told me before when I wear the headphones, it's actually much worse, the audio quality. So okay, that's good. You guys can hear me. So Yeah. What was I talking about? So yeah, like that trans shooter at Minnesota, right? Minnesota has one of the strictest gun laws in the country. But look at like the number of people with guns in Minnesota. Like Minnesota has fallen, and Minneapolis and St. Paul, and same with Chicago. I've been to Chicago 3 times. Oh my God, there's one of those fruit flies that's flying around. So yeah, like Chicago has some of the toughest gun laws in the country, right? So, but look at Chicago. Like everybody has a gun. Like America, there's 400 million guns, right? 380 million guns in circulation. That's more than the entire population. And also, so I mentioned in China, that's why it's very important. I think school campuses should be closed off from the public space. Like it should be its own entity. Like like 2020, like the NBA, they had that successful the Disney bubble. You might think it's lame, you might think it's no, it's controversial, sure, but like during the entire NBA bubble, I mean that was a success because they had over 6,000 people in that bubble, right? So there was zero COVID. So and I think it's very important. So like in China, every single school campuses, starting from even kindergarten, right? So there's a security gate, and there's usually police or they're not really police, but they're like campus security. And the students, you have to swipe your ID to get in, right? And unless you're the parents, or you have to tell the security like who is your kid, so you can actually go in. Or sometimes if there's like a teachers parents conference, you can go into the school. Other than that, it's completely closed off. There's iron gate is shut. So starting from kindergarten, like primary school, middle school, high school, university, college, I don't think I think America needs a major change. I don't think they should be part of like the university campuses, like same with high school, middle school. They should be a separate entity from the rest of the city. I understand some students, they like, say for example, they like the downtown life. If the university campus, for example, the University of Chicago, I understand it's like right in the middle of the city, their campus. So it's nice to just live the downtown life, to be around 3 million people. But sometimes you have to look at both sides, right? Sometimes it's not for the better to have a open campus, because nowadays any crazy guy can just walk in, and just stuff like this can happen. And at first, when I saw the news, I thought it was nothing major, and I just saw this because it's confirmed by President Trump. So this is definitely not a hoax. This is definitely not real. So I mean, Charlie Kirk has been credited for basically bringing Trump to victory in 2024. Like this guy was all over social media, right? It's just everywhere. And it's also not just this. I talk about this often as well. So and it's the government as well. Like for example, I was in China for 6 months, right? So I visited 24 different cities. Listen, in China, nobody has a gun. Okay, you might not like the Chinese government, might not like their policies. Yes, China does have a knives problem. I would say I agree. A lot of people, like I did mention, I have a cousin who owns a machete. He actually went to jail and he was bailed out. And his parents had to sell their house. They sacrificed their savings, everything. They had to borrow money to get him out because he uses a machete to stab people. Yes, China does have a knife problem, but nobody, like everybody that I know, nobody owns a gun, because China actually has literally one of the strictest gun laws in the world. You might not like it. People say it's the Second Amendment, but at this point, if you have 380 million guns in circulation, I mean, you have a massive problem, right? So, like so like the cities I mentioned, like Minneapolis, St. Paul, like Chicago, they have some of the strictest gun laws in the country. But at this point, I think it's a complete utter joke. How can you have the strictest gun laws in the country? If you go to Chicago, that's why they call it Chirac, right? Chicago, Iraq. So everybody has a gun. So yeah, I'll be going through the comments. So and then yeah, that's why I just want to start at this point. I can't believe it's happening. Also, what happened to Irina? I saw that video, and it was until like 2 days ago where they actually released the full footage, still slightly censored, of what happened, the aftermath. Absolutely shocking. I like to say once again, it's probably going to be my next upload. I'm actually covering a case that's very similar. Although that is, I recorded that video. I did research before I saw this chaos, right? So every time something like this happens, and the media, they try to cover it up, right? I did mention, like, if the perpetrator was a straight white male, everybody would know about it. Would be all over the news, right? It would be all over mainstream media. The fact that the mainstream media has been so silent about this, and it wasn't until a couple of days ago where the full video was shown to us. And yeah, absolutely horrific what happened to this girl. At the very least, I can say that I think at least she probably died within 2 minutes, and at least she didn't have to suffer for too long. Absolutely horrific that something like this can happen. And the fact that, a lot of people, they say Charlie Kirk is a voice. Well, they can say Trump as well. He's a voice for white America. And I mentioned this point many times, this multiculturalism thing. It's never going to work out. I think the racism has actually gotten so much worse in the West. That's why I'm talking about leaving. So, I mean, this guy, I would say Charlie Kirk, probably 80 to 90% of his supporters are straight white males, right? To a certain point, straight white females as well. But I would say 80 to 90% certainly are white people. And the fact that they're seeing something like this right after just seeing the footages of what happened to Iryna, I think there are very, very dark times ahead. I think, America, a lot. I'd said so many times that the UK will be the first country that will be heading for a civil war. I think America could be getting there. I think, especially with returning to school, the fact that this guy's face has been seen on pretty much every single university and college campus in America. Yeah, this is going to ignite a massive firestorm. And obviously, at this point, I just saw this on my phone like 10 minutes before I went live, and I still don't know all the details who the shooter is. But I mean, this happened in Provo, Utah. It's probably not a black guy. I mean, there's a 90% chance the perpetrator is another white person. Possibly, who knows? It could be trans. Who knows? Because he's spoken a lot about this ideology as well. Never in my life did I imagine something like this would happen. Actually, if it happened, I imagine like the first guy that would, guess, Andrew Tate, right? Cobra Tate, Top G. He's always said that I would never kill myself. I imagine something like this will happen. If the first guy that would be taken out would be like Andrew or Tristan Tate. I could have never imagined that his points would get to this extreme. And I think, if when this whole thing, gets, if they ever get to the bottom of this, I think, yeah, that probably I would say his most triggering points is not because of a college scam. It's not the white privilege. It's not about Russia or Ukraine. I think it's his points on Israel. I think he can really, really trigger a lot of people. So once again, like I've said in previous videos, like I think the best thing to do is that's why I don't support Trump anymore, because I voted for him to. I believe in world peace. I believe that Trump could actually end the war in the Middle East. He could actually end all the sufferings. He could actually end the suffering between Ukraine and Russia, but he's not able to do that. So I think his points about Israel are quite extreme, and it's turning him away from a lot of people. And also, Candace Owens used to work for Charlie Kirk. I don't think they were colleagues. I think he was actually she actually worked, so she was employed by Charlie Kirk. They used to go to campuses and do events together. I think the reason why they separated because Candace has been so anti-Israel, extremely anti-Israel. Well, I understand, right? So there could be reasons. She has her own reasons. That's why they separated. So not just that, like it's not just Turning Point America. I don't think he really goes to Canada, but he also has like Turning Point UK events as well. He hires people in the United Kingdoms where they do these events. So okay, there are 125 people. Okay, that's good. So that's pretty good for Wednesday evening. Once again, I just saw this on the news, and I had to stop editing videos, and I was actually falling asleep, just extremely tired, working countless just overtimes constantly. Let me actually go through some of these comments. Let's talk about this. All right, and once again, like this is breaking news. I don't know too much about it. Let me actually go through some of these comments, and we'll go from there. Just good thing I got a bottle of water. I gotta. One second, yeah. Let me just go back and go through some of these comments. I'm just glad. Yeah. If you're wondering where I am, I'm in my room. It's actually don't be freaked out. There's like a really giant teddy bear. I use this as cushioning. Sometimes I just lay on it. It's just nice to have a soft little cushioning thing at the back. But oh my god, I just can't believe this. Okay, let me see. Breaking news. Nothing ever happens. Okay, this. What? Bro, you have AIDS? Max Hardcore? I don't know. I think some of these comments, please, like, 2 people just died. I think this is quite serious. Please don't post anything that's trolling. I don't have AIDS, man. Come on. So, they crossed the line again, and nothing's going to happen again. So, class Euclid. No, I think this time something is going to happen. Because, okay, with the cases, I think this is so shocking with Iryna, but she's a Ukrainian refugee. This time is different because Charlie Kirk, across social media, how many followers does he have on X? Like something like 5 million, 6 million, and I think he has another 4 million on TikTok, and he has possibly on YouTube, I think 3.8 million. He's on Rumble as well. So across all social media platforms, he has probably anywhere between 15 to maybe 20, 25 million followers. So, I mean, this is going to completely blow up and something terrible is going to happen. I mean, Like we all saw what happened with the Trump assassination attempt last summer, but Trump survived. This time he died. I think something terrible, terrible is going to happen. Like a storm is brewing. So I don't think this time nothing is going to happen. And I think so many people. Same thing with Canada, the UK. Actually, somebody invited me to an event September 13th on the morning. I live in the capital, so that's where all the these what do you call them, these dirty politicians live. So there's going to be a massive protest. It's on Saturday morning at Parliament Hill, and unfortunately I told them I have to work, so I can't make it. I mean, I know I just work at a minimum job, I can just skip my shift, but I'll see. So yeah, there's going to be a massive protest, anti-immigration, anti-refugee pushback against this failure of the immigration and refugee system, where Canada, I did mention, right, in 9 years the Trudeau government took over 80 million, not 80, 8 million people into the country. Has completely destroyed the housing market. The cost of living has skyrocketed, and the youth unemployment rate, I think all major Canadian cities is over 20% now. So it's completely destroyed the country. So there's going to be a massive pushback against the anti-immigration. So I think, yeah, this is going to push people over the edge, especially it's the first week, well, second week back to school, the first full week. So yeah, let me read more of these comments. Nathan Graham, hey from London. He's probably dead. The video did not look good. I just saw this on the news because I wasn't sure at first. Then it was said that President Trump confirmed he's dead. Then, I mean, that's 100% confirmed. So the video did not look good. And supposedly he was shot in the neck. So this is very serious. This is not a random school shooting. This is deliberate. And they were coming right after him. So gruesome videos on Twitter. Yeah, I have to look into it. Like I said, I literally just I saw this and I had to go live. This is probably the most shocking thing I would say since last July, since Trump. I actually went to that farm, Butler, Pennsylvania. It's just outside of Pittsburgh, just south of Pittsburgh. So yeah, this is probably biggest shock in 14 months. Something like this could happen. Never could I have imagined that. I imagined someone like Andrew Tate being taken out before something like this can happen. And because, I mean, this guy is only 31 years old. He's about to turn 32, right? I mean, a lot of conservative Christian Americans, a lot of white males, just white America, I think they look up to this guy. Or even, I understand he has a lot of black Latino supporters as well. But the fact that he's shot dead at such a young age, I think there's going to be chaos. Look at what happened in Nepal, right? Their government was basically overthrown in a coup, and many of like members of parliament, they were like killed, or stripped naked, or brutally beaten, thrown into the river because they banned all forms of social media in Nepal. I understand it's one of like the most repressive regimes in the world. So, he might have been president of USA. Well, I'm not sure. It's maybe 30 years down the road. He's still 31 years old. He's very, very young, but this is an absolute shocker. I mean, like I said, once again, it's been 14 months since I've been this shocked. Okay, okay, have you ever been shot? No. Okay, told him some of these comments are clearly trolling. So, like I said, China literally, I know so many people in China, like thousands of people. Nobody owns a gun. Well, I mean, obviously the police, the security, they have a gun, but yes, China has a knife problem. Okay, there's stabbing for sure, but nobody owns a gun. In America, the system has failed everybody. I don't think has nothing to do with the Second Amendment. If you have a country with 345 million, roughly, yeah, 345 million people, but there are 380 million guns, the system has failed. All of these Democratic-run cities, look at Baltimore, look at Chicago, look at Minneapolis, look at Cleveland, look at Milwaukee, right? Look at all these cities are some of the most, I think, out of the 20 most dangerous cities in America, 19 of them are run by Democrats, right? So, I mean, I've been to many of these cities myself, right? Everybody has a gun. Literally, everybody has a gun. How can you have some of the toughest gun laws in the country and everybody owns a gun, right? When there are 345 million people in the country and there are 380 million guns, at some point, something is going to happen and all shit's going to break loose. So, let me just read. Maybe people have the comments. Maybe they have more details about the shooting. I'll go through some more of these comments. Now I'll look at some more maybe breaking news. No, once again, I have never been shot. I don't know how. And then now Charli Kirk is from Arlington Heights. He speaks a lot of good points. For example, he said, so Charli Kirk, he's married with a daughter, right? So he talks about it's very important, like college life, like, smoking weed, doing drugs, drinking, and all that stuff. He talks about things. And for example, at one point, I think a lot of people, they miss out on is, I talk about this so often in America, people say there's a lot of homicides, there's a lot of gun crimes. Well, how many homicides do you guys think are there in America on average in an average year? It's about 22,000. So how many people do you think die from car accidents every year in America? It's about 45,000. So yes, just remember those numbers: 22,000 versus 45,000. For every single cases like this, it's so unfortunate. I'm so sorry for what happened to Charlie Kirk, to Iryna, right? So that's about 22,000 a year. But for every one of these victims, you'll find double the number of victims that's died from most of the cases, right? If it's just a normal guy that's driving or normal woman that's driving, it's almost impossible, right? It's usually a fender bender. It's usually distracted driving or driving under the influence. That's not just drinking and driving. I'm talking about smoking weed, getting high on driving, doing cocaine, doing meth, doing fentanyl on driving. That's why you have 45,000 victims from car accidents every single year. And it's also a massive problem. And he's also addressed issues like this. He's talking about hookup culture is terrible. He's talking about that it's very important that how the Judeo-Christian values that he stayed a virgin until his wedding day, and his wife was also a virgin on their wedding day. That's why it's so important. That's why he's keeping their marriage intact. So yeah, I'm sorry, no coming back. Okay. Do we have let me just go through these comments now. Go through more on Charlie Kirk, because I've seen a lot of his contents over the last few years. Yeah, in the middle of the day, like on campus. It's unbelievable. Somebody, and also like if he was shot in the neck, that's a pretty accurate shot. Like how were they able to get that close? And let me see. Yes, we hear. And what about Iryna? Yeah, that's why I titled this live stream. And we gotta talk about Iryna. So there's so many weird deaths. As it was all scripted and planned. It's crazy because I can understand if Charlie Kirk was like extremely anti-Israel and maybe something happened. This guy is like. And I tell one of the reasons why is I find this guy to be questionable is because he's America first, but he's Israel firstest. Well, that's some people use that phrase. The fact that he's so pro-Israel, and the fact that something like this can happen to a guy who's so pro-Israel. And look at for example, look at someone like Ben Shapiro. I mean, I'm sorry to say, I'm not saying that, just God forbid. I hope, even though I don't agree with Ben's points, I hope him and his family will be safe. Like, nothing has ever happened to Ben Shapiro, but for something like this to happen to Charlie Kirk, it's 100% shocking. So, University of Chicago is in the middle of the hood. But it's close to Hyde Park. Many schools in the city, though. University of Chicago is a very nice university. I know Chicago doesn't have the best reputation. 500 murders a year, but it's one of the best universities in America, actually. Okay, what's up? Charlie Kirk is dead. You guys capping? Yeah. So I don't know. Yeah, the video of Iryna is bad. There. Then you see the Kirk video. Also, I wonder if it has something to do with to tie these together, because Charlie Kirk, he posted a lot of tweets on X. He also posted videos on YouTube, on X, on Rumble, and on TikTok. Even though I don't have TikTok, but I've seen people repost these videos. He's talking about how this is a hate crime. This is a black and white hate crime, because the guy who killed her says that I got the white girl. I got the white girl. I wonder, but once again, this happened in Provo, Utah. I mean, I don't know, because I have to see. They say the suspect's still at large, right? So Utah is like maybe what. Utah is like 90% white and maybe like 9% like Hispanic and maybe 1% black. So I think that's extremely unlikely if it was a black guy who did this, who was after revenge or something. Most likely, like since it happened in Provo, Utah, it's over 90% chance the shooter was a white guy as well. So yeah, I have to wait on to see more on what's happening. So and after they say the guy was captured. What? They say the guy they captured was not the shooter. Yeah, from what I can see, like the shooter is still at large. So I don't know, a civil war. Yeah, I mean the fact that literally this guy Charlie Kirk, he found a turning point in USA, and he talks a lot about Black America, Black culture. He talks about white people are being forced onto second-class citizens. This guy's been the leading figure. I think that's why he's been all over the algorithm, right? So mainly those shorts. There was like for the longest time period, if you log on to TikTok or YouTube Shorts, when you opened up, it was like all Charlie Kirk and Turning Point USA, and that's why I first saw him with Candace Owens. One second, I gotta blow my nose. And love your vids, bro. Okay, thank you. I'm just checking some. Let me catch up on the comments now. Look up more on the news. The shooter was an old white guy. Has the shooter been caught? So, shooter was trans. Well, I don't know if it's another trans shooter. Iryna suspect was all over the media this time too. Ripped to her. Yeah. I doubt it, unless the economy keeps them collapse, becomes a zombie apocalypse. Americans will fight. The guy was not the shooter. So Charlie talked a lot about black violence and white man killed home. So Chinese historian, I mean Calgary, I don't know what to do in terms of job. Ukrainians are Proto-Mesopotamians. That's a quite long name. It's someone with a Ukrainian flag as their username. It's very difficult. Oh, okay, since this guy, I also want to mention this. Yeah, one of the effects, that's why I mentioned, I said the countries in the Western countries, at least for the 5 years, there needs to be a complete pause on all immigration. Way too many people has been let in. For example, Calgary. Okay, so Calgary, if you lived in the America, that's in the prairies, that's above like north and south. It's above Montana, like north, South Dakota. There's Montana above it. So there's a province called Alberta. It's the most conservative province in Canada, I would say, because it's voted as very solid. Every single riding has been very rock solid conservative every single election. So Calgary, like if you go when there before Justin Trudeau's era, like in 2014, 2015, that used to be like, what do you call it? The gathering center of of like white people from like the prairies. That used to be a massive powerhouse white city, right? That's where cowboys are. I don't think there are too many black or Asian cowboys or Latino cowboys. That city used to be full of white people. When I returned to Canada, right, at the end of April, I landed at the Calgary airport. I was there for like at the airport for 8 hours because I landed there in the morning. I left in the evening. My flight was from Calgary to Toronto. This is after I returned from China. 90% of the people I saw at the airport was Indian. And I tell people this is no longer multiculturalism. They're literally taking all the jobs. Like, where are, like, if you went to the airport in 2015, 90% of the people would have been white. I mean, like, you're literally forcing out of the white people out of their jobs. What do you think is going to happen? It's going to cause, you will see real racism, and it's going to cause extreme racial violence. Like, the people, the security, the people who are driving those golf carts inside the airport that takes you to different terminals, the security, the immigration officers, the people working at Starbucks, the janitors, the cleaners, the people working on the tarmac, the people dealing with the luggage, people at the reception desk, 90% Indian. I was absolutely shocked. Once again, before Justin Trudeau came into office, if you went to the airport in 2014 to 2015, Justin Trudeau took power on November 4th, 2015. 2016, that's when the era of mass immigration started. Almost 1 million people a year for 9 years. So, yeah, if you went to the airport in 2015, you would have seen 90% white staff. 10 years later, is 90% Indian. So that's why I mean, like, yeah, for the, like white people, it's becoming almost impossible to find jobs, and it's going to make them more and more racist. So that's all you're doing, and then nobody is going to benefit from any of this, and wages are getting brutally suppressed. Right, over 3 million people in Canada, so over 10% of the workforce are making minimum wage now, not like 25 cents above minimum wage, not like $1 above minimum wage, right? I'm talking about, yeah, over 10% of the workforce makes exactly minimum wage, not even 1 penny more. So yeah, it's absolute insanity. I could have never imagined that Trudeau would have destroyed Canada to this point. And yeah, let me Andrew Tate is gay. Well, I don't think Andrew Tate is gay, man, but if that's what you believe in, Andrew Tate has security money. Yeah, he does say every time he walks out, he has 6 massive security guards, Romanian security guards, to keep him safe. But no, Charli Kirk really died. Just saw it right now. Yeah, that's why I'm going live, man. Obviously, I wasn't planning on going live at all, but I just saw this. This is just a massive shocker. And Europeans came to U.S. During Ellis. They're immigrants. They did not build the U.S. They immigrate after the U.S. was built. Well, that's if you just heard my rant about what's happening in Calgary, that's not the number one issue. I said immigration can work, societies can benefit, but for example, like Canada, you can't be letting in 8 million people in 9 years. That's just like what happened for scam phone call. It's okay. I think it's shut off. Yeah, it should be okay. So yeah, for example, if you look at the UK, right, since 2022. So 2022, 2023, 2024, in just 3 years, the UK took in 4.5 million people. Yeah, I wish I was actually making that up. So, and I think out of the 4.5 million, so only about I think it's 1.8 million. It's about 600,000 per year. That's coming to the UK legally. So about 2.7 million out of the 4.5 million are illegal migrants who are coming out those those boats. So typically what happens is that they will leave from North Africa. So there'll be all these boats, these buoys. The small ones, they might fit 10 or 12 people. The large boats, they could be 50, 75, 100 people. Typically, they will go to France first, right? They will go to Calais or something, or maybe Normandy. And from there, many of them they get processed, and one of the most popular destinations is go to UK. If you get up early, if you go to Port of Dover in the UK, and if you actually check out, you hopped on one of those boats where the coast guards are, you'll see that every single morning starts at 5 a.m. Endless, like I'm talking about one after another of these migrant boats is crossing the English Channel, right? So from the French side to the UK side, hundreds of boats every single day. And if you look at the demographics, what's most shocking is that almost every single one of them is a military age male. So I mean, this is not immigration. This is an invasion. Like, do you guys not realize how crazy that is? I mean, you're basically letting in millions of Muslim middle-aged, military-aged fighting men into a country that is nuclear armed. Sorry, so that's what's going to happen. So you, literally, Great Britain is becoming, the great is, well, for example, London for sure. It's the great Islamic the great Islamic Republic of London Easton. That's what London is turning into. You're letting all these people in who are into a nuclear armed nation, right? The native population is getting completely replaced. I believe London, the white British population is like 34% now, and it's decreasing every single day. When I've been to Europe twice, went to Greece, Italy, and Spain. That was 2009, 2010 for a high school trip. Even back then, the first thing I realized when I was in Greece, Italy, and Spain, right? You might not think of these countries as having the most migrants. You might think it's France or Germany or the UK, right? Even in those countries, I was absolutely shocked, right? I was like, oh my God, am I really in Italy or Spain or Greece? How come there are hundreds of thousands, if not millions of military-aged, like 18 to 32-year-old Black and Arab men in Spain, in Greece, in Italy, millions, right? Every single major city I went, when I was in Barcelona, in Madrid, when I was visiting Italy, when I was in Rome, in Venice, in Florence, hundreds and thousands of military-aged Black Arab men everywhere, all over the streets. I mean, you're waiting for a disaster to happen. And it's absolutely outrageous, like the fact that, so many of these, liberal white women, they say, oh, they don't feel safe walking down the street anymore because there's so many of these illegal immigrants. But they keep voting for politicians who are supporting this kind of policies. So, yeah. And I 100% agree. That's why you see, like, the guy from the UK, Nigel Farage, right, from Clacton. The reason why you see his rise to fame, right? So many people has been talking about the Reform UK Party. I think this guy Charlie Kirk, possibly. I mean, he's still way too young. Had he survived, possibly one day. I mean, usually when people get to this level, like Trump's level, like you have to be very old. Maybe 30 years down the road, he could possibly run for president one day. But it's crazy that he's gone now. But I think, yeah, one of the key things that he talks about, I agree with, is that immigration has been 100% radicalized. And even some of the guys, what's that guy's name? Konstantin Kisin, the Russian guy. Well, the Russian guy who immigrated to the UK. He talks a lot about immigration as well. His family background is very sketchy as well. I don't think he was actually coming from a struggling middle-class family. I believe his dad was like a extremely rich multi-millionaire Russian banker. His background is very, very sketchy, but he's absolutely right. I think at this point, you have to realize the whole system has failed. Like, you cannot be letting in like millions of these young military-aged men and they expect nothing to happen. Look at even Tony Cruz. He talks about the streets of Germany. It's just simply not safe anymore. He does not feel safe. And this is a guy who was just shredded, absolutely in shape. He's a multi-millionaire, like World Cup winner with Germany, and he said that he does not feel safe with his daughter being raised in Germany because it's been turned into a third world country. So yeah, and yeah, let me read more of these comments. Okay, someone guys says F-U-C-K Kirk. Okay, I mean, dude, the guy has been shot in the neck. He died. So I understand. Like I said, I don't actually support him. I don't follow him. I've seen a lot of his videos, but I mean, for something like this to happen is absolutely shocking. So like, I hope that people in the comments can show some respect. That's not your girl. Okay. Rip Kirks. Some people are okay, I might have to go back and go through these comments. If you leave some really trolling, hateful comments, like 2 people just died in a really, really horrifying way. So this is not something for you guys to troll. And yeah, if you're talking shit online, you gotta go into hiding. Yes, I 100% agree, Sam Lee. You're absolutely correct. So, okay, black on black video isn't the biggest problem in America, and now Charlie knows. Okay, the slides for him. So okay. This is going to have terrible rippling effect. He had a large following, and I never agree with his opinions, but too much. Yeah, but no one should die for their political views. Absolutely, like I said, his opinions on Israel, I think it's very questionable. You know what's been happening for almost 3 years now. But so yeah, he has a massive, massive following, man. Like I said, for like the longest time, this guy was all over the algorithm. So this guy has anywhere between at least 15 million, possibly more, 20, 25, 30 million. Something like this to happen, this is going to ignite a massive firestorm. It's going to be much worse than summer of 2020, I think. Yeah. He has children. Yeah, and he's leaving behind his wife and a daughter. His daughter is only maybe 3 years old, because he said, I believe he got married at 27, so his daughter is probably 3 years old. So yeah, regardless, man. Let me catch up on. Okay, there's a lot of new comments. I'm trying to catch up on the comments. Barely watch his stuff, and I can't believe the dude is dead. Dead at 31. Doesn't matter how famous and rich you are. Which degree are you working on? No, I graduated. I'm just working 2 jobs full time. Like will be my second job. I also have another full time job. That's why I mentioned I'm working like upwards of 70 hours a week. That's why I feel like shit terrible all the time. But yeah, my goal is to move into full time with this channel next summer. That's the goal. But yeah, that still not quite there yet. I still need to pay back some student loans, but I think things will be better next year. It's not really just talking shit though. Just another boring person. I wouldn't say Charlie Kirk is boring. I think he can really, really get people riled up. That's why, he has a lot of attacks previously on campuses. You're planning to buy a house in China? No, man. I'm still paying back debt. I probably, at the very fastest, like, for me to clear off all my debt, I would say minimum another 2 years. So, no, it's not on the agenda, man. Buying a home, that's the next generation is screwed, man. None of the young people can afford to buy a home anymore. Like the vast majority of the wealth, it's the same worldwide. It's owned by the boomers. The old people have all the money and all the wealth. The young people, right? What's that saying, right? You will own nothing and you will be happy. That's the reality for the vast majority of young people. So, should have been what? Should have been hiding in a small town with VPN. Sam Lee, are you talking about Charlie Kirk? Or okay, he died. Yeah, and yeah, it's crazy because I think he has a net worth of something like $20 million. Not as rich as Ben Shapiro, but he has made a lot of money with his. I don't know how exactly he does it. Maybe he has a subscription based platform or something. Maybe Turning Point USA, and he has members that pays like $20 a month to support him. And I think he sells books as well. He probably charges money some of these political rallies. He charges like maybe $50,000 for people to attend. So yeah. He's going to all the money in the world, but all for nothing. Yeah. He got shot in the. So let me catch up on the comments. They killed him because this is Evan, because they disagreed with his beliefs. Don't think they have suspect in custody. He was shot from 200 yards away. Really? He was shot from 200 yards away? But I mean, in the neck, right? That's a very accurate shot. That's absolute shocker. I hope they do get to the bottom of this, because I don't want this to turn into what happened to Trump at Butler, Pennsylvania, because like Thomas Matthew Crooks, they never got to the bottom of this. Like, how did Crooks get there? Like the whole thing, even to this day, I don't think anybody actually knows what happened, and I don't even want to go down that rabbit hole. So yeah, this is just I hope they sort this out, and I just hope it's some crazy campus protester that hates him for his ideologies, but I hope it's not something that's really, really dark. And once again, I think something terrible is going to happen because of this. So let me okay, there's a lot of comments. Let me follow up on these comments. Charlie Kirk humiliated a lot of people. Yes, 100%. I think a lot of people, they think they can catch them at one of those I got you moments, but a lot of people, they just don't have the skills to debate or articulate, and they just end up humiliating themselves. Yes, 100%. They burned the parliament house. Okay, tens and thousands of Palestinians died the same way. Young healthy civilians taken out by snipers and drones every day. Sad for Kirk, but what about them? Yeah, that's okay. That's why I said that the reason why because clearly Kamala Harris, let's get one thing correct, right? She would have been a complete disaster, worse than Joe Biden. I mean, she's pulling also a blackface, right? Nobody, I mean, herself included, right? Nobody has been able to prove that she's not even like 1/8 black, not even 10% black, or even 1/16 black, right? She's an Indian woman. So I don't know why she's constantly claiming to be a black woman. So that's clearly pulling in a blackface. But she also, yeah, she would have been a complete disaster. So yeah, and unfortunately, so far Trump is not delivering. Right, he promised the world peace, he promised to end the wars, he promised this and that, but nothing's happening. So, and the relation between USA and China is not getting any better. So, yeah, I think a lot of people at this point, where they're realizing that. So, on the electoral college, it doesn't matter which party you support. You can vote for the Republican or you can vote for the Democrats, but the end result is going to be the same. So what do you turn into then? And also with the Jeffrey Epstein list, they're saying that, oh, it's a hoax, it doesn't exist, right? What are people going to turn into? At some point, people were just completely lucid. So, and like I said, even just right now in Ottawa, the parliament, that Saturday, they're planning a massive protest, right? Anti-immigration protest. I don't know how many people are going to be there. So, yeah, a lot of people in California have guns. Okay, let me read more of these comments. So, Rip Reno, crazy how he got shot in front of all of them. Feels surreal, man. Yeah, I hope they do get to the bottom of this, man. This raises so many question marks. Charlie Kirk always defends the rich when he speaks. The guy puts himself in danger. Yeah, I think his most dangerous talking points is the war in the Middle East. I think that possibly triggered a lot of people. Uh, okay, let me read more of this. It's the end. Okay. California is a huge state, not just big cities. There's definitely more guns than people in California alone. He humiliated lots of people that oppose his views and show no mercy. It's the end of our civilization. We need to squarely face reality and arm ourselves. It's the zombie apocalypse. So I fully agree with Blue. Okay. Telepathic signal. Have you seen the videos? Crazy. So wait, there's videos circulating on X. I have to look it up. I don't think. Yeah, I'll look it up later. So if you guys have comments, but one thing for sure is that Charlie Kirk is dead. So Texas has more relaxed on us. Why do you think Western civilizations say? Why do you think Western civilization should stay? East Asia is doing fine. Well, recently I've been seeing a lot of this on social media as well. Japan has welcomed like a small group of immigrants and refugees, and it's causing a lot of chaos in the Japanese community. And they're trying to basically remove all of them. I saw that there was one 13-year-old Japanese girl. She was sexually assaulted by a Pakistani Muslim. So, I mean, yes, I agree. Like that's why I said, like, say you might not like China, but I like their policy of basically no diversity, no multiculturalism is 100% correct, because multiculturalism has never ever worked, and they never ever will. What's going to end up happening is that eventually one group will just trying to basically come out on top. There's one Chinese general who ended up losing the Chinese civil war to Chairman Mao Zedong. Eventually, it goes by the name of Generalissimo Chiang Kai-shek. He said that there cannot be two suns in the sky. Eventually, what happens is if you have 50% of the population who are Judeo-Christians and the other 50% are Muslims, eventually at one point, the one group will try to force the other one, like, there cannot be two suns in the sky. One group will try to topple the other and try to sit on the top of the, if you want to call it, the patriarchy, right? So, yeah, it's going to lead to radicalism, it's going to lead to violence, and it's the same in every single part of the world, right? Diversity has never worked. If you look at, for example, like a country like Singapore, which has 6 million people, roughly 15% Muslim, close to 1 million Muslims. Sure, I mean, if you look at Singapore, it's extremely clean, it's extremely safe, there's no crime, there's no violence, but you have to realize that if you're living as a Muslim in Singapore, so the practice of Islam is brutally suppressed, and they don't hide it. The parliament, the politicians, they'll tell you. They said that, if you're a Muslim, basically, I'm quoting unquote, they said that there's a famous quote. What did they say? Yeah, the dildo of consequences, it rarely comes looped. They said that if you try to f around, you will definitely get to fuck, find out. Yeah, so like Islam is brutally suppressed, even though it has Singapore has a very diverse ethnic group. There are a lot of Muslims in the it's a municipality, but it's a small country of 6 million people, right? But they say that we don't tolerate that, we don't preach that, we don't want diversity. If you want to follow Islam, it's all fine, whatever. But if you want to pull one of those public gatherings, if you want to do this, follow the way of Allah, follow the way of the Prophet, it's brutally suppressed. So that's the view on vast majority of these Asian countries. That's why you're seeing these anti-immigration protests that's happening. So yeah, let me just more on this. But yeah, diversity is going to lead to a complete disaster, man. Okay, alcohol can be used quantitatively. Okay, excess Asian sin. He's definitely dead. Utah is liberal. Okay, pray for the family. Did he even catch the guy? I saw he's arrested. The guy looks like Bernie Sanders. Really? Bernie Sanders is what, like 84 years old? That cannot be it, man. So I hope they do get to the bottom of this. I hope this doesn't become one of those conspiracies. That's like, the shooting of JFK that nobody, in the end. Well, I think in the end, the conclusion is that, JFK was ultimately killed by a conspiracy, right? So I think ultimately who pulled the trigger eventually, I don't think it matters that much. But I just hope. But even now, there's so many details. So many people don't know exactly what happened. I just hope people get to the bottom of this, man. I think this man deserves justice, and people need to know the truth. So. And it's crazy. Also, Tucker Carlson, he's releasing a 5-episode documentary tomorrow on 9/11. So yeah, that'll be interesting. I'm definitely. I hope he doesn't put it behind a paywall on like his network, Tucker Carlson network. But if he charges, I'll wait till all the episodes comes out. I think it takes like a month, so 5 weeks after all of them are released. I think he charges what, like $9 a month or something. I'll pay $9 to watch all 5 episodes. I think I'm quite interested to see what Tucker Carlson has to say. So I just hope this does not turn into one of those. Yeah. And let me see. So much money, couldn't enjoy any, truly running in the wind. Charlie Kirk, it's a covert white nationalist. What? They'll do it to Ben just watch. Well, once again, Ben Shapiro's views are very questionable, but he's got a wife and 4 children, man. I hope everything's going to be okay for him. But yeah, he's I don't know, man. I agree. The stuff he says is extremely questionable. Yeah, but he's going to be okay. What are you talking about? Are you talking about Charlie? Charlie is gone, man. So Charlie is showing your videos are weird. I'm not sure exactly which one you're talking about, but I just maybe just maybe if you get specific, more specifically on which video you're talking about, this is going to have a terrible ripple effect. Charlie had that trust fund look about him. You say nasty things in your videos. Okay. Okay. He's delicate. He's dead. It's confirmed, declared. Are you religious? No, I'm not a religious person. I don't follow religion. UFC is a top university despite being located in Chicago. So irony is he got shot down talking about gun violence. Bro was not ready for the hood. But once again, this was in Provo, Utah. Well, hey, let me look up something very quickly, okay? I'm pretty sure like Utah is like, the entire state of Utah is like 90% white, maybe 9% Hispanic, and 1% black, right? So Provo, Utah demographic. Yeah, this was most likely. Yeah, okay, Provo, Utah is showing that the very first result is showing that it's 78.6% white, and there's like a small number of Asians, Latinos, Pacific Islanders, and it's like less than 1% black. I'm pretty sure like Utah has the lowest percentage of black people in any state in America. So this was most likely a white guy. Let me just get through the comments. Maybe he was Asian and his handlers took him out. Maybe he knows too much. Okay, Mistress Koala. Well, that's an interesting. So it's possible. Yeah, and sometimes you have to wonder too, because there are channels. The vast majority of the time, right? So anytime a guy grows to 5 million, 10, 15, 20 millions, that followings, typically that takes many, many years of extreme hard work and dedication and grinding away, right? Look at like Mr. Beast, right? Look at how long it took him. I think it took him 3 years just to reach like 10,000 subscribers, right? It's a very, very long grind on the internet. But the fact that this guy had a meteoric rise on the internet just during the COVID, right? So it was all over the algorithm. It's very, very questionable. Anytime someone has a meteoric rise like this on the internet, you have to question. Sometimes it could be, some guy that just got extremely lucky, like that Chinese guy. I know people call him Stephen He, but in Chinese it's called Stephen He. You know how he used his sandals? Like he goes like drops his flip-flops and he's like, boom, emotional damage. Like literally the guy made his entire career based on that one video. But I think that one's just pure luck. He got extremely lucky. But for someone like Charlie Kirk to have a rise like this on the internet, all over the algorithm, because I understand, right? I've been making videos for a few years now. It's very difficult. Sometimes you have 1 or 2 good videos, then it kind of everything slows down for like 5 or 6 or 7 videos, then it picks back up. So it's generally an extremely slow and painful process for someone to just have a rise to stardom like that, to get to 10 million, 20 million followers that quickly. So yeah, there could be a very sketchy backstory behind it. So maybe someone's just pushing out his contents on every single social media platform. So he's just riding on top of the algorithm, because for the vast majority of people, it's a very, very slow process. Unless, you're someone like Sophie Rain, if you decide to do OnlyFans. It's crazy. She's saying that in the past year, it's not 44 million anymore. I think she said she's made like 76 million or 80 million. So she's making like almost as much as LeBron James. But I guess Sophie Rain's lucky that LeBron doesn't have OnlyFans. Just wait until LeBron James joins OnlyFans. He's going to break all of the world records. So, yeah, let me just read more of these comments. Did you hear about Sadia Khan, a red pill female being high value caught cheating? Yeah, that's a great point. So, and Charli Kirk talks about this as well. So I'm just catching up on the comments. The telepathic signaler, 100%. All of these women are liars. Okay, speaking about Charli Kirk, and there's another girl that has risen up on the internet in the last few years. I don't know what's her real name. Her channel's name is Emily Saves America. She's got a few 100,000 followers. All of these people are hypocrites, right? So this girl, Emily Saves America, she literally talks about why she's supporting Charli Kirk, why she's supporting the Republicans. Hookup culture is bad. All of this, doing drugs, right, sleeping with a bunch of men, all terrible. Feminism is terrible. She goes to Charli Kirk's event, like on college campuses, Turning Point USA. She literally have all of these frat boys that's literally fingering her while Charli Kirk is giving out speeches in the hallway. And she's literally out there just, giving out the BJs in the bathroom. And she's doing God knows what with all these frat boys. Probably like weird S&M, handcuffs, spanking, reverse cowgirl. I mean, this is, if you just look at her channel, it looks like some super innocent, fairly attractive conservative white girl who is waiting until marriage. They all host. It's the same thing. Same thing with that girl, Sadia Khan. She's from India, or she's from Kashmir, which is disputed border region. She's either India or Pakistani, and she's always talking about all of these women. They're narcissists. They're all going to end up alone. They're going to become cat parents. These women who are cheaters. These women are so disloyal. They leave their man for nothing. But look at her. She's literally caught having sex with a man who's married, right? So I mean, she's a skank herself. So all these people are hypocrites. That's why it's very hard to trust people on the internet anymore. Same thing with Michaela Peterson. That's why I think that's probably the best example. I think that's when Jordan Peterson went crazy, because Michaela, she's a hoe. I mean, she went to Romania. She said, because Andrew Tate, right? He's this 6'3", 2 times world champion in kickboxing. He's so smart. He's good at chess. His daddy is a grandmaster. He drives a Bugatti. He's got a mansion in Bucharest. And yeah, as she hooks up with Andrew Tate, she cheats on her husband. Then she files for divorce. She says that, I'm just not happy. She says that any woman who's not happy should not stay with their man. So, I mean, how can she call herself a... I don't think... Is she a Christian? Because I saw that debate on Jubilee where where that guy keeps asking, is Jordan Peterson a Christian? And he refused to answer. I wonder why that is. So, by the way, yeah, and Dr. Jordan Peterson, even though I think ever since he joined the Daily Wire, his views has been extremely questionable. But he has made the right choice. He sold his house. So him and Michaela, they used to live in Toronto. Well, in the Greater Toronto area. They have both sold their homes. They both live in the U.S. now. I believe Dr. Jordan Peterson has moved to Arizona, and I think it's definitely the best choice. Canada is even worse shape in America. Well, except the gun violence isn't quite there, but yeah, this is bad. Even though like 22,000 is not a extremely high number compared to, let's say, 45,000 people getting killed in car accidents, it's still 22,000 way too many, man. And so many of these can be avoided. Look at the city of Chicago. So you're looking at roughly 500 murders per year. So that's like 1.4 people getting shot per day. Yeah, 10 people dead from homicides, gun violence in a week. And it's very unfortunate because in a city like Chicago, roughly 50% of the homicides will never be solved. Because, yeah, you got 10 people getting killed a week. When you're working on this case, the next thing you know, there's another massive shooting and the 3 guys are dead. So they have to move on to the next case. And unfortunately, this one thing Charli Kirk has read about, so many of these cases, the majority of the homicides in Chicago is gang violence. It's black on black crime. To some degrees, Hispanic on Hispanic crime. And unless you can sort something out with, you can't have a country with 340 million people and there are 380 million guns in circulation. So that is what's happening. And yeah, let me catch up. Yeah, thank you for telepathic signaler. Yeah, that's a great comment about Sadia Khan. So yeah, it's very hard to trust people now. And same thing, like I mentioned, like my stepmom, She used to. She's from northeastern China. She went to Shenzhen. She became a hoe, and she was a prostitute. Everybody knows because I did not live in the city. I grew up in the suburbs. It was 30,000 people in the suburbs in China. That's very, very small for Chinese standards. And so, in order to look for opportunities in the big city to make some money, she went to Shenzhen and become a prostitute. Then, at the age of, I believe, like 33 or something, yeah, maybe 34, she converts to Buddhism. Now she's like, oh, I only eat tofu. I only eat bean sprouts. I read the book of truth. I'm like, oh, ami tofu. So I believe in the Buddha. I believe in all of this, right? We have to pray my sins away. And so many women are doing that now. That's why it's very difficult to trust these people. Like these women throughout their teens, their 20s, all the way until their 30s, they ride the cock carousel. And all of a sudden, after they turn 30 or 31 or 32, they're like, oh, I'm a born again virgin and I deserve forgiveness. No, you don't. So, I mean, you had your chance, but you sinned. So, I'm sorry. In the world, it doesn't work like that. For example, like you can't just go out there and just let's say if you don't like this guy, oh, maybe I'll just kill him with my gun or something. And afterwards, you say that, oh my God, no, 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 no. I'm born again, innocent, right? I'm gonna pray my sins away. I don't eat meat anymore. I'm a vegan, and so that's the exact mentality of these women. And I've seen it so much. That's why I talk about like the people say, oh, how come it's very discriminatory for these Chinese man to give this term, a derogatory term or pejorative term. They say leftover woman, 剩女 in China. I mean, there's a reason for it. Because here's the thing. Okay, if I met so I'm 33 now, by the way. I'm a year older than Charli Kirk. I know it says he's 31, but I think he's turning 32 very soon. So in China, right? So there are a lot of cases. I met same thing in the West, where a lot of Asian women, they will ride the white cock carousel. Let's face it, that's what it is. So and because it's very easy for Asian women to get a date, like the sexual attractiveness scale for an average Asian woman in the West is like an 8. For the average Asian guy, it's about a 2. That's just the brutal reality. So I've seen a lot of these Asian girls throughout their teens into their early 20s, mid 20s, late 20s. They'll ride the white cock carousel. They'll sleep with like 57 white guys, maybe 3 black guys, maybe a couple Mexican, maybe a couple Indian. And then after they turn 30, they realize that oh, these men actually don't want them. They were just a situationship, just a summer fling, just an Asian fetish, just a one night stand. And they what do you call it? They keep you in their back pocket. It's like the Toyota RAV4 or the Jeep, there's an extra 5th spare tire at the back. That's how they view a lot of these Asian guys. Then after they ride the white cock carousel, after they turn 30, they realize that, oh my God, none of these guys actually want me. But wait, look, there's a 5th extra wheel at the back of my Jeep or my Cherokee or my Toyota RAV4. And they say that, hey, that's that Asian guy loser who cannot get a girlfriend. Now I'm 30, he's 32. Maybe I'll use him as my backup. After I've been with like 167 white guys, maybe I'll marry this Asian guy who's a loser. So because I have no other option. That's why there's a term in China. It's called the leftover woman at the age of 30. Because in China, with the excess man crisis, it's very, very easy for a Chinese girl. Any Chinese girl can get married if they want to, right? So, I mean, so typically, and by the way, I'm not saying that women going their own way is a sin or something. I'm not against that. If you're a woman, if you prefer to stay single, good for you. But if you're one of those women who is looking for dates, who actually wants to get married, who actually wants to have children, if you're still not married by 30, that means you have problems. That means you have red flags everywhere. Like, are you a single mother? Are you like a big fat Chinese woman? Do you have extreme attitude? Maybe you don't work on your hygiene. Maybe you have a terrible breath. Maybe you have an extreme body odor. Maybe you got gout. Who knows? All kinds of crazy stuff. Right? That's why there's a term for leftover Chinese woman. Because yeah, if you're not married by 30, because any Chinese woman, if they want to, they can get married at 20 or 22 or 24, 26. What have you been doing for the last 10 to 12 years, right? So you've been wasting your life away. So I mean, that's why that term exists. And there's no term for a leftover man, because a man has to be able to provide something financially. As you guys know, I mentioned a lot in China about the dowry. So 300,000 yuan. In US dollars, you're looking at $42,000 US. That is a massive sum of money. Unless you can provide something financially, you won't be able to get a girl. So all a woman has to do is exist. So, if you become a leftover woman, it's mostly your fault. So yes, yeah, Charli Kirk is dead at 31. I'm still trying to process that, man. I don't know what to say anymore. You talk so fast, it's incredible. Oh, thank you. I try to, because nowadays, normally, if I'm sit down, if it's like a podcast style video, I will try to slow it down more. I think I try to do this is because nowadays I realize, the TikTok brain rot attention span. So I realized if I talk too slow, people are going to lose interest. Even sometimes I watch these videos, like if I watch Jordan Peterson, sometimes I find it's a little bit too slow. But I would say, if one thing Ben Shapiro is good at, I mean, I don't think I can talk as fast as Ben Shapiro like ever. Like, oh my God, man. Like, I don't know what Ben Shapiro is on. Like, that's, if you're trying to learn English, like, if you're trying to hear him talk, it's going to be impossible. Yeah, I think I try to do this. I know it's a little bit sped up. I just feel like nowadays people have short attention span, so we better speed some things up. Because I've tried to watch some Dr. Jordan Peterson's videos. Sometimes he talks about like Christianity, like the Judeo-Christian values. He talks about like the Levant, like the apostles. But if it's like really, really slow, sometimes I just would feel like I want to fall asleep. I think it keeps people sharp. So love this channel from London. Oh, thank you. Are you still in China? Currently in Canada. I think I'll be back in China next year. So yeah. Let me see. Got it. Okay, let me catch up on some of these comments. Okay, there's a super chat. I'll get the super chat first. Now catch up on some of the comments. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Necro Dancer 009 for $5. Okay. Great white sharks will happily accept your expired tuna. Okay, thank you. So. Wait. Okay, is that because I talk about mud sharks? So when you're referring to great white sharks, are you talking about the except my expired tuna? So does that mean like a white man who's into Asian woman? Because I talk about a lot of Asian women dating white men. Well, thank you so much for $5. So I think that's what you mean, right? Great sharks. So yeah. I mean, yeah, you date anybody that you want to, man. I'm just telling you, because a lot of white guys, they're really weird if they see a black guy with a white girl. But, I think it's your own option. Thank you so much. My expired tuna, are you talking about, like, my egg roll? Expired tuna. I hope it's not where you're talking about, because I don't think tuna, that cannot smell very good. But thank you so much, Necro Dancer, for $5. So if that's what you mean, the great white shark. So thank you. I'm not sure. This has got to be a guy, right? It cannot be a woman who's sending that kind of chat. Thank you so much. So, yeah, there's not much questions. I just want to say thank you for your support. Let me read more of these comments. Are you in China? No, I'm in Canada right now. London has changed ridiculously. I'm Indian, UK, born in the 90s. Yeah, like I said, just like any Canadian cities, man, like Calgary, that used to be like the great white power, man, like movement city. That used to be like all white people. But now that the airport, certainly, I didn't go into the city. The airport is 90% Indian. So yeah, everything has changed. Okay, Dateless Archives, you rock. Really appreciate your channel and your wisdom. Thank you so much. Okay, let me see. There's some Chinese comments. Thank you for your support. Johnny T, thank you for your Chinese comment. Bro, talk about the Jews, like Ben Shapiro. I think I've covered Ben Shapiro quite a bit for this live already. They're giving them Uber delivery jobs. So okay, not everyone who looks like Indian specifically from India. They're Bangladeshi, Yes, I realize. Even the Nepalese, most of them are brown, right? Pakistan, Sri Lanka, Nepal, Iran. I don't think Iranians look like Indians. Some are people, they look like Indians. Facts over feelings. Yeah, it's very interesting. Ben Shapiro talks about facts don't care about feelings, but I think anytime he mentions something about Israel, I think his feelings get hurt quite a bit. So yeah, it's the same thing. That's what people call Charlie Kirk. Like Ben, he talks about Israel so great. He's America first, but he's Israel firstest, right? Even though Ben Shapiro is actually, he's not born in Israel. He's born in California, and a lot of people think he because Daily Wire, right? A lot of people think he lives in Nashville, but he actually lives in Florida. I'm pretty sure he lives in one of those gated communities that's like 99% white, where like normal people cannot enter. Yeah, I think that's where he's living. And yeah, because his net worth has got to be like $100 million or more. I know he's filthy rich. So yeah, I guess some people hate him because he's filthy rich. What are you going to do, right? A lot of South Asians. I have an Arab friend, has family illegal migrating into England. Meanwhile, she's a med student struggling through tons of red tape to apply to move worker. Yeah, and also, yeah, that's a great point by Sleeper. So, like, when my dad and my stepmom, when they applied for immigration, it took them 5 years. 5 years to get everything processed. Like, endless court dates and all these tests and the physical examinations, English proficiency tests. They're called, like, TOEFL, the short form. It's like TOEFL. So there's like this extremely excruciating and painful process you had to go through to actually apply for the legal immigration. Typically, it takes 5 years. 5 years from when you apply for immigration in China to when you can actually, let's say, land in Toronto or Vancouver or Montreal or Ottawa. But these illegals, they just hop on the boat and land here, and they're giving they're giving credit cards, they're giving cell phones, they're giving free hotel rooms, they're being fed 3 times a day, they have free clothing, and they have a shopping budget. It's a huge slap on the face to anybody who actually wants to come to these Western countries legally. If you look at so that's a sleeper. I'll follow up on this comment. Niagara Falls, right? The most popular tourist destination in Canada. It's on the Canada-America border. Like there, I think everybody knows Niagara Falls. There's something like 18,000 hotel rooms right now in Niagara Falls. If you guys don't believe me, I saw it myself, especially the Wyndham Hotel. That's been permanently shut down. It's used to house these illegal migrants. Roughly 2,000 out of the 18,000 hotel rooms, they're being occupied permanently now by these illegal migrants. So I think the cost to accommodate these people is on average is about $210 per day. So why is it so expensive? Because they get these nice fancy rooms. They get cleaning service every single day. They have clothes that are given to them for free, shoes, everything, like purses, backpacks, and they have laundry service and 100% free. They can use the indoor pool, and they're fed 3 times a day. 3 times a day. They have brand new cell phones given to them. Some of them also have credit cards as well. If you think I'm joking, right? So if you live anywhere close to Niagara Falls, why don't you just drive down there? You'll see it. So right now, out of the 18,000 rooms, roughly 2,000 rooms are being used to house these illegal aliens. That's what they are. And I think it's costing Canadian taxpayers something like, since 2020, I think it's costing Canadian taxpayers $1.1 billion to house these illegal migrants in Niagara Falls, right? I did not believe it until I went there to see it myself. It's 100% true. You don't know where these people come from. You don't know their names. Most of them are like Samir or Abdul or Muhammad. And so, I mean, these people, they have no skill. They have no education. They're not going to integrate into society. They're not going to follow the Judeo-Christian values. They're not going to say Christ is king. So, I mean, the fact that since 2020, Canada has spent $1.1 billion housing these illegal aliens, absolutely outrageous. And it's a huge slap in the face for anybody that tries to move to these countries legally, because it's actually a 5-year process before you can actually land here. The fact that these people are doing this, it's a humiliation ritual, man. That's why so many people are losing faith in the country. So yeah, and let me read more of these comments. Okay, there's some of them. These are quite long. All the good, but who? Yeah, that's all good, but who enable it talk about that? What? Okay, some of these comments are not really making much sense. It's horrible that Charli Kirk died, though. He's right about immigration. Immigration has always been a problem, even during Ellis Island days. Yeah. Oh, for example, if you look at the UK's immigration numbers, okay, yes, it can work. So from 1900 until 1996, right, the average number of immigrants that's entering the United Kingdom, once again, from 1900 until 1996, the average was between 30 to 40,000. The average, I think, it's actually 35,000 people a year. Once again, for 96 years, okay, the average is 35,000 immigrants per year. What happened in 1997? Tony Blair, right, works for the World Economic Forum, comes into power, opens the floodgates, and it's been 1997, 28 years now, right? So then from 35,000, right, so up until 1996. I think in 1996, it was 55,000 people that was letting to the UK. Then went up to 60, then 80, then 100, then 200, then 300,000, and 400,000, all the way until 2022 to 2024 after COVID. 4.5 million people entered the UK, right? In 3 years. That's 1.5 million a year. And people wondering why there's no jobs, right? People are wondering why, everything's getting so expensive. You wonder why your rent has doubled. You wonder why your mortgage has doubled. Well, yeah, the government orchestrated this housing crisis. For example, if you look at Canada, between 2016 to 2024, Canada added 8 million people. 8 million people, okay? Out of the 8 million, only 3 million came legally, okay? 5 million people came illegally. So you're taking 8 million people in 9 years. During that time period, Canada built 200,000 homes. That's a real number. You can look it up on Statistics Canada if you don't believe me. So Canada, out of all the OECD countries, has the lowest housing vacancy rate in the world. Out of all the OECD countries, is that 1.5%. In fact, I think it's much lower than that, because a lot of these housing units, they're cramming people into one house. Like where I live, there's 8 people in one house, which is actually against the law, but that's what everybody's doing now because there's not enough housing. You're letting 8 million people and you built 200,000 homes. What do you guys think is going to happen? That's why nobody can afford to buy homes anymore. And what do you think is going to happen to the job market? That's why in any major Canadian city, in Vancouver, Toronto, Calgary, Edmonton, Ottawa, all the young people, right, are struggling. They cannot find jobs. The youth unemployment rate is about 20%, and the 80% that do have jobs, they're like me, they're working minimum wage jobs. So that's exactly what's happening. Yeah, and this has nothing to do with xenophobia or racism. I tell people, even people who are model citizens, even if they're model citizens from Norway or Sweden, I'm talking about white Christian families, they should not be moving. They're like Canada should, like US, you should not be accepting these immigrants because the country is full. It's over capacity. You cannot be taking any more people. So that's what's happening to these Western countries. And what's insane is that it's every single one of them. It's not just Canada. It's not just the US. It's happening to Australia, to New Zealand, to UK, to France, to Germany, to Italy, Spain, Greece. Every single one of them being invaded. This is 100% open invasion. And just imagine, right? If you think things are bad now in 2025, what is the UK, what is the Canada going to look like in 2035, in 2045, 2055? It's going to be unrecognizable. And whatever the numbers they're telling you, I think it's mostly lies because you guys saw so the Champions League, PSG, Paris Saint-Germain, right? Paris Saint-Germain, they won the Champions League for the first time. I believe there was a massive riot. There's a massive riot, and they say like possibly 3 people died during this celebration because it was getting so out of control. And they were showing the footages of all the protests, all the riots on the streets. I mean, like your soccer team won they became European champions. Good for you, but like you have to burn everything up. So if you look at the riots, people think, oh, this is Paris. These are Parisian, right? These are white French people. Over 90% of the protesters who are just burning up the streets in Paris, they're black and Arabs. Right? I'm sorry to say that's just brutal reality. When you look at what's happening, they say, oh, they'll look at all these violence following PSG's Champions League victory. But I'm like, this is not Paris. This is not France. When you look at it, it looks like Dakar, Senegal. It looks like Côte d'Ivoire or something, or it looks like or it looks like Algeria or Tunisia or something. This is definitely not Paris. Like the demographic has been changed like completely, has been altered like permanently, and it's never going to be the same again. And that's once again, that's in 2025. Imagine 10, 20, 30 years from now. And yeah, I'm getting behind on the comments. Let me catch up on some of these comments. Then I'll say, and yeah, I gotta talk not just on Charli Kirk. Let's talk about this girl Iryna as well. So it's a terrible times that we live in. Let me catch up on Latinas best for Chinese guys, best option. Yeah, well, I would say my number one crush, I mentioned this, is Victoria Justice. She's like, her mom is brown. Her mom is like Puerto Rican. Her dad is white. I would say, yeah, most beautiful woman in the world. Yeah, if you can find a woman, sure, right woman. I mean, I think, it's all up to you. But for a man, you have to be able to provide something financially. But yeah, that's my number one crush, Victoria Justice. Some people think it's Madison Beer, but it's not Madison Beer. What about Chinese? Okay. They also like white dudes as well. What? Okay. Bro, I saw the video. It was awful. Holy moly. Marcelo, okay. I'm going to look up that video on X. I'm prepared. I think at this point, I've seen so many videos, but I'll be prepared. It's just absolutely shock. Stay out of public, CH. Keep yourself safe. Oh, thank you. But I don't think, I don't have that level of fame. I'm just a small nobody for now. And I don't think I'll ever get to his level, like 15, 20 million followers. But if I do get to that level, I'll keep myself safe for sure. But also, I think the number one reason he was taking out, I think, his views on the Middle East with Israel. So, yeah, it's just some of his views are questionable. But I'm so sorry to say, man, just you got to feel for his daughter, 3 years old. And I talked about my videos is so important to grow up in a nuclear family. The fact that his wife is widowed at the age of 35. His wife is 4 years older. She's 35 or 36. The fact that their daughter is going to be growing up without a father is going to cause a lot of issues. She's going to be completely broken. And I talk about the attachment theory. Yeah, she's going to have a lot of issues growing up. So, which dynasty was your favorite to study? Mystery Stumpapai. The Qing dynasty. The one that was ruled by the ethnic Manchurians. The final dynasty of China. Yeah. From 1644 to 1911. I would say my favorite dynasty. So unfair. A lot of people processing papers for 5 years. Some guy from Pakistan gets in instantly. Yeah, that's what I said. Even immigrants, a lot of people are pissed. Even a lot of Indians who came here legally, like before Justin Trudeau, they're pissed. Obviously, they said, I have to do everything, like fill out all these papers, all these medical examinations. I have to prove that, I'm not a danger to society, right? I have to do all of this, right? It takes 5 years before I can actually book a flight from New Delhi or Mumbai to Toronto. And then these guys, they just come over like it's nothing. They get a fake student visa and they work at Tim Hortons for 2 years, and they get their PR. It's a huge slap to the face for immigrants who are coming legally as well. So yeah, the system is completely broken. Yeah, and you seem to be one of the. Oh, okay. I think some of these comments are the users are talking to each other. So then for Charli Kirk, Ukrainian immigration is bad. Well, the Chinese guy is not biased at all. So okay, let me catch up on the comments and I'll talk about. Hi Betty. Okay, yeah, I actually met Betty. Appeared in one of my videos. Betty Confetti. I thank you. Yeah, I know you tried to contact me on Instagram, but I did mention I deleted my social media. The last one I have is X. Right. That's where I saw the Charli Kirk news. Absolutely shocking. So thank you for your support, Betty. Western girls like it. Asian girls prefer BWC. Okay. Now yeah, let's. After I catch up on the comments, I do want to talk a bit about this Ukrainian girl as well. So Asian guys is doomed since they like this. Okay. Islamic Republic of Canada. Well, most of the people coming here are not maybe the next wave of immigration, but most of the people coming in right now are Hindus. So it's not the Hindu Republic of Canada. People call it Canada. So makes more sense. Average white dude. What's that? Okay. Let me read more of these comments. Delhi diarrhea. What? You F with Confucius? What? Is that a troll comment? What? You F with Confucius? If China becomes Catholic, there will be a major cultural renaissance. But no, China is not going to become a Catholic. So I think you guys will be pretty shocked by the next video. I will be yeah, I think I will upload it on Friday. It should be no problem. But probably the most shocking murder case in Canadian history nobody has heard about is actually crazy. I don't want to give away too much. I'll tell you guys some details. So it was actually a crazy same thing because I saw the Iryna case. I started researching this case before Iryna's case became public. So it was an innocent white guy, and it was killed by a crazy Chinese guy, stabbed to death on a bus. And the craziest part is that the crazy Chinese guy, he walked away free by reasons of insanity. So that video is going to be covered on Friday. So just an absolute shocker. Yeah, and I think if the roles were reversed, if it was like a crazy white guy who stabbed the Asian guy to death, it would blow up all over the world. But yeah, the most shocking part was it was actually the Asian guy. He lost his mind after he converted to Christianity. That's when he said that he heard like the second coming of Christ. He heard like the alien invasions coming, and it was God's voice who told him to do what he did. So it's quite an insane story. I think I'll release that on Friday. Yeah. Let me read more of these comments. Ellis Jackson, you're free to join. Chinese people will study the Bible. They're great students that could teach us a lot. Yeah, Christianity is not very common in China, I would say. No. I think you're more likely to be a Christian if you're from Hong Kong, I think. Let me read more of these comments. Okay. Me and my local Chinese takeaway shop talk about your videos whenever I got pick up my worker. Okay, thank you for your support. Kirat, Satohe. Charli Kirk just died. Yeah, that's why I posted this live stream. I just cannot believe what happened. It's a 100% shocker. I mean, do you like Confucius? Yeah, I will cover him in more videos, but every time I cover these topics about like Chinese history, people don't really watch it, but they watch more topics related to like, you know, just dating or like interracial dating, more specifically why Asian girls are into white guys. I think those videos are generally more popular. I think I need to go back to those videos more. But there'll be one more video on a gruesome murder coming up on this Friday. Yeah, before I get back to more dating videos. Shit's getting scary. Canadian Warrior PH. Yeah, it's very concerning. And yeah, on Saturday they scheduled a massive protest, the anti-immigration protest. I think it's not just Parliament. I think it's happening in a lot of Canadian cities as well. Yeah, something terrible is going to happen. Indians don't even like that. Funny. Okay. Okay, yeah, I think I've caught up on some comments. I think some of these comments are users talking to each other, and okay, you're factually wrong about Hindus. They're not. What? 90% are Sikhs. Coalition with Sikh Man Party. No, there's no way 90% of the newcomers are Sikhs. There's a big percentage, maybe 20-30%. Majority are still Hindus, but. Do you make history videos? Yes, but people usually don't perform well. I posted like a 47-minute video on China's century of humiliation. I do post them. If you go search my past videos, you will see them. So yeah, let's. I've talked a bit about Charli Kirk. I still have to look up the case. I will log on to X. I'm ready to see the videos. I'm absolutely shocked. And once again, I will save this live. I don't think it will get taken down, so it should be okay. I will save it, and you guys can watch it later. And I'll keep the chat replay available as well. And yeah. So what happened to this girl, Iryna? She fled the war in Ukraine, and she's working at this pizzeria. She just got off work, right? And she's just looking at her phone. Absolute senseless murder. And the fact that I'm, like these people, right? And that's why I said these liberal white women. I mean, it's a disease for Western society, right? They keep saying, "Oh, Ukraine, I stand Slava Ukraini, right? I am so proud to support Ukraine with the Ukrainians." But look at how silent they have been. How many celebrity outrages has there been from the left, right? They keep talking about how much they love Ukraine. Has Nancy Pelosi said anything? What about Elizabeth Warren? What about Amy Klobuchar? The fact that all of them are so silent, the fact that Ukrainian girl, 23-year-old, very attractive. I mean, she could have been a model. I don't know why she was working at a pizzeria. I think she could have gotten herself a modeling contract. The fact that she was brutally murdered in just while taking the bus, doing absolutely nothing. I'm just glad that her suffering was short, because watching from just that video, she probably died within 2 to 3 minutes. I don't think she had enough time to process the shock. It looked like she barely knew what happened, and then she was just in a fetal position crying. And I think it's very also important to look at both sides, every single perspective of the story. Sure, okay, there was 5 other black people who did not help, right? They were sitting on the back of the bus. I can understand the woman who was, maybe she was in a state of shock, but there was like right behind that black woman, there was a light-skinned black guy, possibly mixed race, possibly half white or half Mexican or something. The fact that he did not do anything, absolutely shame on these people. And also, yes, if you watch the full video, there was a black guy who took his shirt off near the end of the video, tried to turn into a tourniquet. He tried to stop her bleeding, but I think at that point it was already too late. She was stabbed 3 times, and I think the first one was already fatal, so that was enough to kill her. So yeah, and at the very, very least, I think they got the perpetrator, so probably going to get a death penalty. I imagine this case has caused a national outrage. At the very least, I can say that she didn't have to suffer for too long. And the fact that it's a shame, and same with that used to be the Minister of Transportation, right? Secretary of Transportation, Peter Buttigieg, right? The fact that every single one of them. By the way, Peter Buttigieg, he's a shame on him, because he's a fake gay guy. Okay, you can ask Pete Buttigieg like how do gays have sex and stuff. He would not know anything about it. He lied his way like throughout the entire system. He's a definition of a DEI hire. Okay, he's a straight white male. He's not gay. And the fact that he wanted to become a politician so he could make like $200,000 a year so he can get lobbying from APAC, right? So he could become a multi-millionaire, right? The only reason why he was put into that position is because he faked being gay. Peter Buttigieg, he's not gay. He's a, what do you call it? 100% narcissistic, pathological liar, just like Kamala Harris. So what Pete Buttigieg is doing is gay face. Kamala Harris, what she's doing is blackface, because she's an Indian woman who claims that she's somehow mixed black, but she's not black, right? And so Pete Buttigieg, yeah, what he's doing is gay face. He's a straight white male, and he fakes to be gay in order to become a politician, in order to become a millionaire. And every single one of them, right? Nancy Pelosi, Elizabeth Warren, Amy Klobuchar, the fact that Peter Buttigieg, every single one of these Democratic politicians, they're 100% silent. They haven't said anything about the murder of Iryna Zaruska. Shame on every single one of them. Okay, they can go rot in hell, man. And Nancy Pelosi, I mean, like, how do you guys think she got so rich, man? She's worth like what, over $200 million? I mean, her salary as a Speaker of the House is like $200,000 a year, right? So how can you make $200,000 a year to have a net worth of over 200 million? Yeah, some of those the most corrupt and disgusting people on this planet. Every single person who supported the Ukraine, they're all fake. It's all a money laundering scheme. They don't care about the Ukrainians. Look at what happened to this poor woman. But at the very, very least, people want to say that they want to turn this into a civil war. But you have to look at both sides, right? There was a black guy who actually stepped in to help, right? He took off his shirt, tried to turn into a tourniquet. It's very important to show that side as well, right? So I mean, the real failure is the government, especially look at, I'm sorry to say, you have to pick the lesser of the two evils, right? The 20 most dangerous cities in America, 19 of them run by Democrats. Look at Detroit, look at Philly, look at Cleveland, look at Chicago, look at St. Louis, look at Memphis, Tennessee. Like almost every single one, right? Run by Democrats. And I think that should show you guys something. Those Democratic politicians who claim that they care about blacks and Hispanics. They don't care. I met that mayor of Chicago, Brandon Johnson, that black guy. I mean, pathological liar, man. He doesn't give a shit about black people, man. It's just he's the one who's pulling a real blackface, even though he's a black guy. I mean, yeah, the media, when they want to show this image of this, this crazy black guy who murdered a white girl, but you have to look at also it's the policies of America that has failed these people. Like, you can't claim to have some of the most strict gun laws in the country, while like almost everybody has a gun, and they also, right, you can't be arresting people. Same thing in New York. I think it's actually 327 individuals that's responsible for like 90% of the shopliftings in the city, and they've been arrested for over 6,000 times. And yeah, what happens when they get arrested? They're out on bail, cashless bail. The next morning, nothing happens to them. It's like the jail's a free hotel stay. You can't be arresting these people and releasing them, arresting people and releasing them, right? Yes, I understand that there's a problem with Black America. There's a problem with Black culture, but you have to realize something that's also very important. At the end, there was a black man. There was two people. There was a white woman and a black man. They tried to save Iryna, but I think that at that point she was gone. But I think she might have her brain might have been conscious for another 2-3 minutes. At the very least, I would say at the very end, she knew that two people actually tried to help her, and I'm just absolutely petrified. That's something that happens just after getting off your shift at the pizzeria, and I don't know what to say, man. And the fact that the media has been so silent. Shame on every single one of those celebrities who talked about how much they support Ukraine. And yeah, the fact that you have Iryna's case and you have Charli Kirk's case, I have a terrible, terrible feeling. And especially, if you're one of those Black America who you think Black culture is a problem, you want to turn this around, you better speak up about this issue as well. You better talk about what the hell is going on. Andrew Tate has been very loud about this. I saw that guy Myron Gaines, right? Even though I certainly don't agree with his points on Fresh and Fit, he's been very, very vocal about all of this. Like, you need to have a serious discussion about what is going on in these inner cities. And yeah, and also, like, the Democratic Party, they clearly don't give a shit about you guys, man. And I just hope Iryna's family and Charli's family can find peace, even though, once again, I certainly don't support Ben Shapiro. I strongly disagree with him, but I hope everything's going to be I hope him and his family will stay safe. I mean, he's got a wife and 4 children, and maybe his wife and children, they don't support his views as well. Maybe his wife just married him because he makes like $20 million a year, right? So I mean, sometimes if that's his job, he's got to talk to make money. But once again, right, and this is the issue of modern society. I talk about this a lot too. When you see someone like Ben Shapiro, I'm like, okay, this guy, I certainly don't support his ideas, Israel first, so I just don't listen to him. I think a lot of people nowadays, they're rage baiting themselves, they're clickbaiting themselves, right? For example, if you're a white guy, you cannot stand the idea of seeing a white girl with a black guy. Don't watch those videos on the internet. You know exactly what kind of videos I'm talking about, right? Don't go watch videos of Lana Rhodes or Riley Matthews or Tory Black or these white women who are taking back shots, who are getting destroyed by black guys, from behind. Like, don't go watching these videos, because all you're doing is feeding your dopamine. It's going to make you more racist. It's going to make you more violent, right? So if you see someone like Candace Owens or Charlie Kirk or Ben Shapiro, you don't agree with their ideas, don't watch them. It's like Jordan Peterson. I used to watch these videos, but until he joined the Daily Wire, I'm like, okay, this guy's lost it. Just it's better to stay away from him. That's why I said I deleted all forms of social media with the exception of X. Yeah, stay away from that kind of stuff. It's not good for you, and I'm just praying for the family. Once again, I wasn't planning on doing this live. Maybe I don't know. I usually do them like on the weekends. Maybe I'll do one much later. I'll save this live for later so people can watch it. But let me go through one round of comments, and maybe I'll go shut this down and go back to videos, because I need to. I don't think there's too much point in just trying to continue this without doing too much information. I need to know more on what happened, because it's a developing news. But I'm so sorry for their losses. And once again, I think I'll upload that video on Friday. It should be okay. Shouldn't get flagged by the algorithm. It's a very, very disturbing murder. Once again, it's an innocent white male that gets brutally murdered by Asian guy. The Asian guy wants free. And I think this is a massive issue, because they're forcing white people to become second-class citizens. And I'll talk more on future videos. I understand I talk about the topic of divorces, single mother homes. Yeah, I'll talk more about it on future videos. But I think after Friday, I'll stay away from these murder videos. It's a bit too extreme. I'll talk about lighter topics, more on dating, I think. So yeah, let me try to catch up on the comments. Average white dude. What? Mass immigration, Asians in Australia, New Zealand, Canada. Many don't like Asian immigrants. Yeah, that's happening for a very, very long time now. I've said Asians and whites hold hands. Michael, you'll find that, what? Find Latina that reminds you of an Asian girl. Oh, okay. Well, a name man's claim was attributed by someone else got consolidated. What? Asians are pretty. I just can't. What? Asians are pretty. I just can't stand black man with them. Yeah. Don't watch too many of those videos on the internet, man. Not good for you. Let me see. Chinese restaurant. It was mixed use of French, Moroccan, Algerian, Spanish, Portuguese, Chinese, Senegalese. Paris fans was a mix. Yeah, the PSG riots after they won the Champions League. What a disgrace, man. But once again, like if you look at it, if nobody told you, like nobody will believe that was Paris. Like you would think it was in Dakar, Senegal. Yeah, it's over 90% of the fans were black or Arab. So, ha ha ha. Okay, let me catch up. Have you heard of Professor Jiang? Charli Kirk's creepy eyes. Okay, is that a bot account? No, I haven't heard of a Professor Jiang. I've been working nonstop, man. I haven't had too much time. That's why, I said in order for me to grow this channel, I really, really need to just focus on improving the contents and evolving, taking my channel to the next level. So yeah, right now I think I'm doing the best I can, but I think it would be a good idea for me to go full-time next year. But I still need some time until then. I gotta pay back more debt until then. So, let me see. The caste system. Okay, there are people going back and forth. Yeah, this is so FUCKED, man. Yeah, I cannot believe it, man. TYE radical. Just I haven't been this shocked since last July, man. I gotta look at the footage. I think it's going to be all over X. I don't know what to say anymore. I'm just praying for his family, praying for his daughter, man. Because I did say I come from a very broken, dysfunctional family, and yeah, for her daughter, she's going to be growing up with a lot of pain and suffering, man. Unbelievable. Yeah. So let me see. Okay, funny how most USAs are barely 1% Asian. Multiple provinces are 30 to 40% Asian. I wouldn't say 30 to 40%. Maybe if you combine all the immigrants, man. Maybe if you compare combined like Asians and Indians and blacks and Arabs and stuff. I don't think there are too many provinces that's 30 to 40% Asian. Rip Charli Kirk. If China becomes Catholic, okay, yeah. Let me see, where am I at? I gotta try to, yeah, Charli Kirk just died. Okay, I have read these comments. Andy Stalin. Okay, Andy Stalin. Let's look at a picture of Joseph Stalin. Okay, well, I mean, if that's who you support, Joseph Stalin, I don't know. That guy's pretty questionable, man. So, Indian, okay. Really cool. Don't like that guy, but that's cold, yeah. I think Confucius' teachings align with Christ. From what I know, no, I think that's a little bit different. You're factually wrong. Hindus are not getting there. Okay. Do a video about Korean hyper war. I haven't heard about that. Keep off the video, say. Yeah, I'll do my best. And make sure I also just uploaded a video like 2.5 hours ago. So, oh yeah, I'll talk a little bit before I catch up on the last round of comments. So, the video, it's a crazy Chinese guy. He kills his wife, puts his wife's body through a meat grinder, turns him into meatballs, and then flush his wife's body down the toilet. And then he's the one who contacts the police. Yeah, you can watch the 14-minute video right now. After I finish this live, maybe you haven't watched it. It's a new video. And then he contacts the police. He posts videos on social media, gets interviewed by the local news network saying that, oh, please find my wife. My wife is missing. I don't know what happened. He was like the most famous man in China in 2020 for 17 days before he's caught. So the police, what happened was they got 35 truckloads of the waste samples from the septic tanks, and they matched the DNAs of his wife. Yeah, absolute gruesome murder. So he bought some sleeping pills, he put them inside a glass of warm milk, puts his wife to sleep, puts duct tape over her mouth, murders her, then he dices her up, like into small pieces, puts her through the grinder, flushes her down the toilet. Absolute gruesome. So that's what that new video is about. Yeah, make sure if you guys say Asians don't commit crimes, but yeah, absolutely horrific. Yeah, and the craziest thing is that he actually contacted the police, and he made himself like the most famous man in China. He offered a reward of 100,000 yuan, like over $13,000 US. He's like, please find my wife, please find my wife, but they found out it was him. And yeah, he's been sentenced to death. So that's what that new video is about. And I'll cover another gruesome murder on Friday. But I think, yeah, next week I'll go on something lighter because it's clearly too much for some people. Yeah, especially in these crazy times. But yeah, there's going to be dark times ahead. look at Professor Jiang great lecture on geopolitics. Maybe I'll give it a look. I'll see. But yeah, right now my work schedule is quite insane. But yeah, also it's harming my this channel's growth because I cannot be dedicating more time onto growing this channel. So yeah, next spring for sure. I think I'll be moving full time with this channel. Uh, uh, Interesting how the man who murdered her was let go 18. No, it was 14 times. He's been arrested 14 times. Yeah, JJ, this arena, right, without any punishment. Yeah, a meme, the oppressed people. Yeah, I don't know what to say, man. The justice system in America has completely failed American citizens. You guys might not like China. It's one of the safest countries in the world because, yeah, if you FUCK around in China, you will FUCK find out. So, yeah, like China has virtually zero violent crimes. So, it's a sick world that we live in. BC has more Sikhs than Hindus, by the way. Yeah, Canada has changed forever, man. When I landed at the Calgary airport, I'm like, holy shit, man. There's no white people left. It's 90% Indian. Well, Spanish and Italian, since they were part of Spanish Empire, supported, okay. Charlie Kirk Ice, you are... What? Charlie Kirk Ice, what? Charlie Kirk Ice, you are mocking yourself in front of God. I don't know what you're talking about, man. Okay. Yeah, if you guys have questions, shoot them in the comments. I think I'll go through like one last round. I'm not gonna, because I need to keep updated on what's happening. But I just want to see if you guys' reactions. Then yeah, if you have any questions, throw them in the comments. I'll go through one last round of comments before. Yeah, now shut it off. I gotta go back to editing videos and check out the news. So yeah, I'll try to. If you have genuine questions, please, I will definitely try to answer them. Then who in the streets? Those judges that let the black guy run amok 10 times deserve to go to jail. Yes, 100%. 100%, man. Like I said, those people, not just that, also the Democratic politicians who are doing this. Yeah, starting with Nancy Pelosi, they all should have been thrown to jail a long time ago, man. How can you be making $200,000 a year but have a net worth of $200 million? Like, what's Elizabeth Warren's net worth? I think it's like $55 million. Some of the most corrupt people on earth, man. So, what? Okay, Andy Stalin. So, he's channel member. Do you support Zionism? The Chinese historian. No, man. Why would I support Zionism? Are you talking about just Ben Shapiro? No, man. I don't listen to that guy. I think that guy has lost his mind. I think that's why I said that. I think part of the reason why so many people are against Charlie Kirk is his views on Israel. No, I don't. I just, like I said, the reason why I would have supported Trump last November is because I want the war to end between Russia and Ukraine. I want all the suffering to end. 1 million people. You guys see that the Russian guy that was recently killed, only 18 years old? 1 million kids dead for nothing. And look at what's happening in the Middle East. And I want all of this to end. All right, so it doesn't matter which side you want to support, right? All of this is insanity now. But so yeah, it's been nearly 9 months now. Trump has not brought an end to anything. It's time to end all of this madness, to end all of the suffering. So yeah, I mean, if it doesn't matter who you are, like especially with Ben Shapiro, like if you're still supporting what Israel is doing, like I don't know what to say anymore, man. I can't believe people who are like, even if you're the most hardcore and conservative, if you still agree with Ben Shapiro, I think there's some issues, man. It's time to bring an end to all of this. It's time to bring an end to all of the suffering. And I hope in Trump's remaining 3.5 years, whatever time he's got left, I hope he can resolve every single conflict that there is, right? There's no need for any of this to escalate any further. So, Sam, no, he caught up. What? Are you still reading the comments from 30 minutes ago? No, I'm not Sam Lee. I know I'm catching up with the comments, but I'm not going to go back to like the really old comments. But if you have a question now, I'm keep going down until like I see the last one. Kamala Harris' husband is Jewish. Her dad is black Indian, mother full Indian. No, her dad is not black, man. Her dad is actually a part Irish. If you look up the ancestry, he's like a light-skinned Indian. His mama, Shyamala, Shyamala Gopalin, she's like really dark-skinned Indian, but they're both Brahmin. And also she's full of BS because she claims that she's coming from middle class, but she's Brahmin. Brahmin, top of the caste system. So they're not she's not who she says she is. Okay, there's a super chat. It's the same person. Okay, I'll read this chat and I'll catch up on the comments. So. Oh crap. Sorry. Let me just lead. Okay, Necro Dancer. Oh, thank you again for $25 now. So, 20. The year is 2055. What? The year is it's 2025. I think you mean, yeah. 2025 year of the snake. World War III ends. Somehow and somehow through hard work, cunning, luck, and divine, the stars help. I think is that what you mean? The stars help. You find yourself as the emperor of China. What would you do with your life in this situation? Wait, are you 2055? 2055 wouldn't be the year of the snake, because that would be 30 years from now. It would be the year of the pig, actually. So, well, thank you for your question. I don't. I'm trying to think about if I was the emperor of China. Well, first of all, I said this many times before. Since thank you for $25. So, the military industrial complex has no business. I talk about, like, if you want all of the wars to end, NATO should be disbanded. All right, NATO has no business. To me, like the war between Russia and Ukraine, 100% the reason that's happening is because of NATO. So, and also, yeah, like what I said with not just the Russia-Ukraine war. And people say, oh, China is the problem. China does not have military bases. China does not have like the U.S. or Europe surrounded, right? So America has 750 military bases, right? So 750. China has one. China has one military base. That's it. No more, no less. One in Djibouti. Crap. Let me try to go back to previous comments. So yeah, right now in the United States they have military bases like Camp Humphreys. So in South Korea near the demilitarized zone, in Okinawa, in the Philippines, right, and near the Suez Canal, and so China is being surrounded by the U.S. They're not the aggressor. I tell people China did not start any wars. China has not been any part of the wars since 1979 when they fought Vietnam. And 1 second, let me. How do I go back to the chats? Okay, yeah. So since the end of the Korean War, China has been in two wars. China fought India in 1962, and China fought Vietnam in 1979. Right. So if I was the emperor of China, first of all, I tell them it's right now NATO expansion is just it's becoming a massive concern, and you need NATO should be disbanded, which I obviously don't think is going to happen. And a lot of people say, oh, NATO is acting in self-defense. No, it's not. You guys know that singer Dua Lipa, right? Dua Lipa. She used to be really, really hot, but she's like mid now. She's doing weird stuff to herself. So she's from Pristina, Kosovo. Kosovo did not become a country until very recently. It's mostly a Muslim state. So the reason why Kosovo was created was because, well, NATO came in and literally absolutely carpet bombed Yugoslavia for 78 days, right? So more specifically Serbia, right? So it was carpet bombed for 78 days, and they committed crimes against humanity during those 78 days. It was like the bombing of Dresden, right? They carpet bombed civilians. They want to talk about, oh, what Israel's doing. Look at what NATO was doing. And they carpet bombed the country for 78 days in order to create Kosovo. Crimes against humanity. Nobody wants to talk about it. Why is that not taught in our school curriculums? 100% insanity. So, I mean, if I was in charge of China, first of all, like, you gotta just try to form there will be negotiations right away with the USA and talking about, whether maybe it's time for USA to pull out of NATO completely. The whole operation has to be shut down. It's 100% insanity. Countless of lives lost. And what is all good for? Absolutely nothing. Yeah, you can look up how Kosovo was created. It was because, NATO. Yeah, who attacked the Yugoslavia? Like, just every single military conflict, right? The United States has been involved in. NATO has been involved in. Absolute disaster. Look at the Phoenix program. Vietnam War, right? Viet Cong. They didn't kill any Viet Cong. They killed innocent civilians. Look at the My Lai massacre. Agent Orange. Look up Agent Orange. Look up Fish Skin. Look up, these are second and third generations of these Vietnamese children. Look at what they did in Vietnam. Crime against humanity. Yeah, Robert Strange McNamara. Like, he's 100% disaster. Everything about Vietnam, right? I talk about the My Lai massacre. Look at the Japanese. They could be having amazing developments in Okinawa. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous island. But due to the presence of the United States military, they're occupying. They make up like 3% of the population, but they occupy like 25% of the territory, right? The Japanese they cannot do anything. Yeah, and why is the United States in the Philippines? Like, why is still the United States involved still in the DMZ? What happens between North and South Korea has nothing to do with the United States. Sure, China is concerned because North Korea, that's their neighbor. I have a lot of family who comes from China's largest border city of Dandong. So yeah, it's you can see North Korea on the other side. Of course, they can be concerned. You have to remember during the Korean War, China sent 2.5 million troops, and China lost roughly 500,000 troops during the Battle of Korean War. In fact, it was Chairman Mao Zedong. He lost one of his sons during the Korean War. He was bombed to death by the Americans. And he wanted to talk about, oh, like America is so great, all right? Like people, this whole, but they call it what, global hegemon or primacy, global hegemony. It's 100% insanity. I mean, you kill the son of the Chinese chairman. Of course, what you think China is going to be your friend? Of course, they're going to be hostile towards you. Right? This is all 100% insanity. If I was China, yeah, I would talk with the U.S. right away. There will be negotiations, and NATO should be disbanded, and the American military industrial complex should be ended, and the 200,000 plus U.S. troops that's being stationed overseas, it's time for all of them to go home. This 100% insanity. It's not doing anybody any good. So yeah, I think a lot of people don't know. Yeah, look up. You think it's good for the Americans to be in South Korea? Look up the No Gun Ri massacre. Yes, the Americans. It was the Americans. They mercilessly opened fire on South Korean refugees who was fleeing the war. And at the end of the day, it was the North Korean troops. Once again, you think North Korea is bad. The North Koreans saved all of those South Korean civilians that's fleeing the war. The American troops opened fire and killed between 100 to 150 of them. They were taking shelter between that massive cave. There's like 2 round openings. Yeah, they were completely stuck there because when the wars first broke out, they didn't know what they were going to do. They became refugees of war, and the United States troops opened fire on innocent civilians, and it was the North Koreans that saved them. And the United States denied this for 49 years. It wasn't until 1999's investigative journal report, and it was finally revealed that report actually won the 4 journalists a Pulitzer winning prize. So yeah, that's when Bill Clinton was finally forced to apologize about the war crimes they committed in during the Korean War. It's a complete disaster, right? Everything you have been told is a lie, pretty much. So yeah, that would be my number one goal. So I would say thank you so much for Necro Dancer. $25 US. Since it's US dollar, you probably live in America. Yeah, I think the only way for NATO to be disbanded is that the United States should pull out, and it's time to end the military-industrial complex. That's the only way you can have a world peace. So yeah, I'll read one more round of comments. Oh, I've been at it for almost 2 hours now, and yeah, I do have to look up on that news. Thank you so much, Necro Dancer. This is bad for both sides. No, he caught up. Okay. Yeah, I was on that point for a pretty long time, but yeah, I gotta catch up on these new comments. Then this will be the last round, unless someone has another super chat or some crazy, really important question you want me to answer. I'll just go through this last round of comments. Okay, still have 118 people. That's pretty good. Low IQ's no problem. Thank you. I'm following you, Jabari Black. Thank you for your support. Anybody from Mississippi, specifically from Brandon? I'm thinking moving there. Cost of living? I wouldn't know anything about Brandon, Mississippi, but I know the southern states are usually extremely poor. What's your prediction on the rest of this year in terms of global stability? That's why I'm doing this live stream. I think something terrible is going to happen after the death of Iryna and the Charli Kirk. I think what happened in summer of 2020, the BLM riots, I think, yeah, it's going to happen certainly across America, probably the UK, probably Canada. Something terrible is going to happen. Stay safe, man. And I think you should be very concerned at this time if you're a small business owner. Maybe it's time to board up your shops. Maybe you need to protect yourself. Get some, maybe if you can get a gun or any kind of weapon, or maybe even just a pepper spray. You got to protect yourself. Something terrible is going to happen. I hate Sneeko, Fresh and Fit. Yeah, Sneeko, 100% garbage, man. And Myron Gaines, he has a lot of issues, man. So no, I don't watch those guys. Yeah, same with Sadia Khan. I mean, she cheated. She sucked the dick of a married man. So 100% hypocrites. Watch UK 13th of September. Ezra Angel. Is it Angel? Yeah, Ezra Angel. Well, it's happening in Canada. I was actually invited by a subscriber, but I have to work. I don't think I can make it. Yeah, there's a protest on Parliament in Canada as well. So yeah, it's bad. If you're wondering what is the Parliament, that's equivalent of the White House of the United States. I live in the capital, so something terrible is going to happen, man. Soon nothing is gonna happen. Sadia Ka, 13th September. Dona movie. Okay, I think JJ. Okay, Tuna Blue Heart exactly. Is irritated by with shadowing comments. Said hi. Okay, yeah, I think I'm caught up on all the comments. I've been at this for an hour and 10 minutes. Yeah, I just some final closing thoughts. Sorry. So yeah, so very terrible murder on Friday. Okay. Okay, there's another. Okay, Necro Dancer. Oh, thank you. It's the same Necro Dancer once again. Oh, thank you so much for $20. Okay, I demand you buy a steak. I will know if you don't. Okay, how about this? I will order a steak because right now the house I live in is 8 people. It's very difficult for me to have time to just cook food or any space in the fridge. I will order a steak. And maybe I'll post a community post. I will add it to one of my community posts, and I'll post a picture of the steak, me enjoying steak. You've donated $45 US, Necro Dancer. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And yes, I don't have any dietary restrictions. I definitely like steak. Medium rare is the best temperature for sure. Do not ever order a steak well done or even medium well. I don't know like how people can order steak well done because this charcoal, this piece of rock is terrible. So yes, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Necro Dancer, for $45 now. And yeah, just I'm gonna say the closing. Okay, there's a few more comments. I'll catch up on the comments. I'll just tell you a little bit about. I told you guys about Friday's videos, and then I'll talk about next few uploads. I think. I live in London. Streets are full of St. George's flags and Union flags. I hope it doesn't turn to a new war of roses. Okay. Also, Israel and how lives in London, UK. Good stream. Sad topics. Yeah, thank you, Raul Moat. Thank you for your support. Be able to order cooked steak 3 times with that donation. Yeah, I will order steak for you, sure. And the community post, I'll put a picture. I'll mention your name. Thank you so much for $45 US. China's position in the invasion of Ukraine. China either supports or condemns Russia. That's they're neutral. But China has made it very clear. They're calling what's happening in the Middle East a genocide, and they said that there has to be a 2-state solution. So China is 100% supportive of, they're against Israel, but they're neutral when it comes to Russia and Ukraine, if you're wondering. That's the official position of the Chinese government. Okay. Yeah, I think I'm all caught up. So, your Indian room 8, that's not why says. Yes, that's 100% true. Yeah, the jug thing, the milk jug thing, that bothers me, man. Really terrible. Okay. Mongols, Turkish. They have similar eyes. What? No, they prefer ethnic Han Chinese. That's it. They don't like diversity. That's the best way to put it. So yeah, once again, so I posted a video already. Came out like less than 3 hours ago. You guys can watch that video. The Asian meat grinder murder. And Friday will be another gruesome murder. So crazy Asian guy murders an innocent white guy, walks away free. So that's going to be released on Friday. Then next week, I promise, lighter topics. Too many murder videos, too many sadness, too many deaths, too many tragedy, dark times ahead. But yeah, I'll cover more Asian women dating and more of that stuff. And hopefully just get your mind clear of all these crazy things that's happening. But this is developing news. I'm praying the best for Charlie's family. I'm so sorry for the loss. So thank you guys so much. Thoughts on Charli Kirk, McLovin 13? Yeah, I covered in previous videos. I don't agree with some of these points, but I think he's a very smart and very articulate man. He's certainly right about how terrible hookup culture is, how we need to bring back the traditional Judeo-Christian value. I don't know what to say, man. I just haven't been this shocked in 14 months. So take care, man. Have a good night. So yeah, I think that's going to be it. I will post a picture of the steak. So thank you to everybody that has tuned into this live stream. I think at one point there was over 200 people. Now it's still over 100 people. Thank you to Necro Dancer for donating $45. I will go buy that steak. And rest in peace, Charli Kirk. Rest in peace, Iryna. And once again, another gruesome murder on Friday. And we'll go back to lighter topics next week. So thank you so much, everyone, for all of your support. Oh, okay, there's a... Wait. Okay, I'm about to shut this down, but... Oh, it's the same user. Wait, is this the same user from last time? Oh, thank you. Okay, well, there's no comment. Okay, I was just about to close this, but there's another donation. Okay, maybe I'll stay on for just a few minutes. Thank you. Oh, it's the same user. I mentioned you. Thank you so much. Keelypox. So $500 New Zealand. That's $300 US. I looked up the conversion rate last time. Yeah, you're the same user who donated last time. I was stream my birthday live stream. I don't know what to say, man. Thank you so much. And I don't usually see you leaving any comments in any of my videos. There's no questions. But yeah, unbelievable. I think, well, with this donation, you'll be my #1 supporter of like all time. Since my channel started growing, I had another user. His name was Ging Rama, the channel's name. He's donated in total like over $600 US. But yeah, you'll be my #1 donator on this channel now in the past 16 months now. Thank you so much. There's no question, but I don't know what to say. I will since yeah, so $300 New Zealand is about $300 US. It's a massive sum of money. What's your star sign? I'm a Leo, the lion. I'm a top of the zodiac. Thank you so much. So yeah, and since you left a comment, I will share just one little thing, right? Maybe not. I've talked about Irina. I talk about the crazy stuff, terrible stuff, right? All of this terrible tragedies that's been happening in the world. And I think I will share this one point with you guys, since there's still 117 of you guys with me, okay? Listen very, very closely. And thank you, Keelypox. I hope you're listening to this as well. Yeah, you have no questions. About I sent that video. It was recorded in his room. I talk about the explosion of divorces, right? People say, oh, why do I talk about Asian woman, black man, white man, Indian so much? But I think the topic I actually covered the most is divorces, because I come from a family where everybody's divorced. So thank you. I think you support my views, Keelypox, on this as well. So I talk about, right, the issue with the rapid dramatic rise. People think China is very traditional, but I tell them, like, it's changed completely. It's not the same country anymore. So China's divorce rate even back in 2000 was 15%. Now it's 500%. Oh, thank you, Donut 100 for 99 cents. So yeah, just share this one last story. Why I said there's no such thing as a childless marriage. Okay, there's no such thing as and of course, when I say there's no such thing as a childless marriage, that means that there's no such thing as a gay marriage, and there's no such thing as a lesbian marriage. Why when you get married, you have to have children, because I see it so often now, and that's why I tell people, I tell these white Canadians, I see the reason why you're divorced is because, yeah, you have a dink marriage. You cannot be worshiping your dogs. You cannot be treating it like it's like it's your child. It's literally bestiality. It's on the verge of it's deranged thinking. That's why all of you are divorced. Because what happens? I tell people, okay, you think there's a problem with black culture, okay? Sure, I agree. Charli Kirk's talked about this as well. The reason why there's a problem is because if you go on the website, black demographics, 54% of black men are single and unmarried. Yes, there are a lot of black women with baby mama. When you get married, when you have a children, something changes within you. Something changes biologically, especially as a man. You simply become a better person. And there's every single statistics to back this up. So once again, thank you, Keelypox, but I want to elaborate on this, right? So this point. So yes, married men with children are 62% more likely to donate to various charities versus single, unmarried, childless men. And when you have that child, something changes within inside of you. Let's say if you're just some bum, some loser, right? All you want to do is work 35 or 40 hours a week, just barely enough so you can get by, so you don't starve to death. Once you get married, once you have a biological child, right? That's yours. And once again, you have to be married, right? Marriage is not a joke. Marriage is for better or for worse, in sickness or in health, until death pulls us apart. Once you have a children, something changes within that man. He will do anything that he can. He will do whatever it takes. He will work 60, 70, 80, 90, 100 hours. He will do whatever is necessary to keep his marriage intact, to provide for his children. If he has to, he will work himself to death. When a man's married and when he has a children, something changes drastically. People talk about the rising cost of living, but I mentioned in my divorce video, you don't have to get married, okay? It's a choice. But if you do choose to get married, you absolutely must have children, because the husband simply becomes a better person, because he will do everything he can in his power to make the marriage work. Something just changes you. You're not the same person. It's not going to be the same if you buy a dog. That's why I mentioned why China's divorce rate in the cities is 60%, in the rural countryside is 20%. Because in rural China, most married couple will have at least one children, and that's what's going to keep the family together. And also, it's very important, right? So, oh, thank you, Necro Dancer. I'll keep my increase the quality of the weight of the steaks. Yes, I will order. I will show a picture of proof. And I just want to mention this to follow up on my when I talk about divorces, right? Single mother homes. I didn't mention, right? Men do not like old women. Men do not like fat women. Men do not like women who are loud with attitudes. Who are like, oh bitch, I'm talking. Okay, I'm the alpha. I'm the high energy woman. Men do not like those women. But the number one criteria, right, when man is looking for a partner, men do not want single mothers. That is true anywhere in the world. Because yeah, I've seen this so often in China. These simps, they try to deal with single moms, right? You talk to the kid, bitch is like, oh, shut up, you're not my dad. Shut up, bitch, don't talk to me. Do you want to deal with that? Because yeah, that's why it's so important. If you do choose to get married, you better make sure that you will knock up your wife as soon as possible. Get her pregnant as soon as possible to make sure you have a baby. It is the greatest deterrent to prevent her from getting divorced, because she will think 3 times before getting divorced. Because if you get married, you just have a dog. She thinks that, oh, this is a joke. What kind of marriage is this? This is not a family. Okay, I'm just going to leave you. Because if you enter a dink marriage, okay, I'm telling you, there's a 60 to 70% chance next 10 years down the road, she will file for divorce. At some point, she's going to get bored. But once she has a kid, she knows that, okay, this is, well, we have a kid, right? Well, what about the custody battle? What about, if I try to look for love again? She knows that, even though she says that it doesn't matter. No man out there wants a single mom, right? You can get simps, you can get betas all you want. Having a children is the greatest deterrent to prevent a woman from filing for divorce. And I can give you guys, I mentioned this in my divorce video, right? In Canada, the divorce rate is 50%, over 50%. But the rate of single mother homes is 22%. 50 versus 22. Why is it so much lower? It's because, once again, the majority of the divorces are date marriages. If you choose to get married and if you get a dog, I'm sorry to say, 70 to 80% chance your marriage is going to be over. That's not a marriage. Once you have a child, something changes biologically with that man. He will do whatever it takes. He will do anything possible in this world to make his marriage work. And same thing for the woman, right? She will do anything in her power most of the time. Yes, 22%, but I'm talking about, do you want 50% divorce rate or 22% divorce rate, right? So by the way, I think marriage is not 50%, it's probably 60 to 70%. Once you have a child, right, the woman, she will think twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times before actually filing for divorce, because she knows that her life as a single mother will be absolutely miserable. She knows that nobody wants single moms. Look at the animal world. Look at what happens when the zebra wants to mate with another female zebra, right? She will do everything in his power. The male zebra, right? The single male zebra, when he wants to mate with a zebra that's not necessarily a single mother, but when he spots a zebra in the wild that has a child, he will kill that child. He will force that baby zebra into the water. He will stump that baby zebra to death. It's the same thing. What happens when you have a new male lion that's a matriarch? What happens when after he wins the battle, he kills the old lion. Now he's the new leader of the pack, the new leader of the tribe. He goes in, he kills all of that female lioness, kills all of her couplings, so he can become the new leader. Nobody wants to become nobody wants someone else's child, right? You want to try to raise another baby that's not yours, so that kid can give you attitude, be like, oh, shut up, you're not my dad. Oh, shut up, you're just a stupid bitch. Oh, my daddy's the best. You're never gonna be my dad, right? Look at the polar bears. What happens when single male polar bear wants to mate, but he spots a female polar bear with a cub? He's going to kill that cub, right? It's the same thing, right? It's evolution. Nobody wants a single mother. That's why it's the most important thing. Once again, you do not have to get married. But once again, if you do choose to get married, there's no such thing as a dink marriage. Have a child, get married, lock your wife up. Once you have a child, the man changes drastically. That's why I said there's a problem in the black community, because, 54% of black men are single and childless. So, that is the highest of any demographic. Once you get married, once you have a child, everything changes. Everything in your life changes. You'll work 67, 80, 90 hours a week. You'll work 4 full-time jobs. You'll work yourself to death in order to provide for your wife, in order to provide for your child. But it's not going to be the same if you buy a dog, okay? It's just a complete joke. Once again, it's the same thing vice versa, right? If you do not planning on getting married, then do not have a kid. There's no such thing as having children out of wedlock. That's why it's illegal in China. And China should also change this to combat their high divorce rates, is that if you do not not want to have children, then do not get married, right? So I think there should be a new annulment rule in marriages, right? If Chinese couples 3 years after marriage, if they still don't have a kid, that marriage should be annulled, right? That's the only way you can fix the current divorce epidemic. Once again, it's very important, right? Single mothers, nobody wants single mothers. If you knock your wife up, if you guys have a child, if you guys truly have a family union, okay, the chances of her filing for divorce will go down by 70, 80, 90% because she knows it's the single biggest deterrent to prevent divorces. And typically speaking, a husband will become a 10 times better person because of it. So yeah, I think I stayed on that point for way too long. But thank you so much, Keely Pox, man, from New Zealand. That's $1,000 New Zealand dollars, $600 US. You're my biggest donator now on my channel. So thank you so much. But I would say if you guys want to ask me what's the topic I talk about most is divorces. So if you guys want to fix the current epidemic, stop with the dink marriages. 100% garbage. If you get married, have a child. The man becomes a better person, and the woman as well at some point, if she's married with a child, of course. And one of the content creators I've been following for a long time, Brad Cooper, she has a baby. She has a baby boy now. So happy for her. I wish Brad Cooper will have a lifetime of happiness with her husband. So yeah, I was just about to shut it down. But yeah, thank you to Necro Dancer who donated again. And so that's $65 now. Thank you so much, Necro Dancer. Now there's been a few more comments. I'll read the last round of comments, and this time I'll shut it down. Thank you so much, Kiwi Pox. And love it's a drug. Bro, that steak's bug steak. Yeah, I will order steak. I will take a picture. I will post it on my community post. Yeah. Thank you. So yeah, thank you, Necro Dancer, and thank you, Kiwi Pox. Thoughts on the Oxford study? I have not read the Oxford study, so some truth bombs. Yeah, if you guys want to know what was the most important part of this live stream, it was after the donation from Kiwi Pox. The thing I said about marriages, once again, no such thing as dink marriages. If you get married, have a child. Yeah, trust me, your chances of a divorce will go down by 80 to 90%. Yes, there are single mother homes, but once again, 22% in Canada. Divorce rate is over 50%. Yeah, have a child. It's so important. Your life will completely change for you. I never married my baby mom. Yeah, that's why the Western countries are in decline. Too many baby mamas. Do you think a Jew ordered assassin for Charlie Kirk? No, I will have to look into it once again. I started this live stream 10 minutes after I saw the notification on my phone. I'll have to look into it. Yeah, once again, yeah, if you don't get married, it's okay. Stay in a relationship, but don't have a baby. If you do get married, you have to have children. That's why I said I made that crystal clear. That's the only way you can save the current society from decline. We need some rice bunny handlers. Any single mothers? Please visit country Bangladesh. It's not on my list, man. Donate $199. Okay. This guy's trolling. No, I'm not trolling, man. That's being 100% honest. Okay, yeah, I think I'm caught up on all the comments. Once again, thank you so much to Kilipox. Once again, $1,000 New Zealand dollars. My biggest donator ever now. And thank you to Necro Dancer. And I will save this live stream on my channel. And yeah, another gruesome murder on Friday. So, you know, just rest in peace to Irina's family, to Charli Kirk's family. I will have to watch the follow-up updates. And yeah, lighter topics for next week. More on Asian women, more on dating. Thank you guys so much for joining my live stream. And hope you guys will have a great evening. So just make sure to check out my new video today. And there'll be another video on Friday. Thank you guys.